67. Hey, what's going on, everybody? Cheers. Happy, what day did it say? Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. Thank you for joining me and my guests. It's going to be a fun one. They usually are. Where to begin? All right, so we're going to be talking investment books today. Not necessarily cheaper ones. There might be some cheaper ones. I know everyone has a different definition of what cheap is. So we're probably going to get to a lot of books here. We're going to have fun with it. A few weeks ago, I had mentioned something about, if you had one key or one book you would invest in now, like, what would you do? The chat blew up. So I thought, you know what? Why don't we have a segment about it? Let's talk investment comics, because there is a lot of people who collect, a lot of people who invest. So why not, spread the love and let's talk some comics. So without further ado, I got two of my main people from my comic family here. I got the man, the myth, the legend. I hope he's wearing sleeves. It's Mr. FaceTime.
What's going on, man? Always got sleeves on. I get too cold.
If you guys don't know, my next guest dropped a video. Sleeveless in Seattle is his new name. So that's kind of why I wanted to throw that. But Face, again, appreciate you joining. As always, I love when you hop on. Tonight's going to be a fun one.
Definitely.
Let's bring the party, because what's the saying? 2's a crowd, 3's a party.
Something like that.
Yeah. So let's bring up the party, Mr. Key Issues. What's going on?
I got so excited when you were like making that introduction. I was ready. I was like, "Oh, this is me," and then that hurt. That hurt so bad, man. You should have seen me. I had the turn and everything. I was like, "Oh, you got me. That was good." What? What's going on?
Yeah, the times and everything.
Yo, hey, man, thanks for joining. I know it's been a little rough with your work schedule and everything like that, but I appreciate you joining. We do have a fourth guest who will be joining us a few minutes late. That's just what happens when you ask another kid. This is what happens when you ask the Canadians to join. They show up a little bit late, but hey, it is what it is. Good things come to those who wait. So, we'll have fun with it. Like I said, we're going to be talking investment books. We're going to be talking, wide open, basically, from anything price-wise. We're going to be talking about just some books that we definitely believe in, that if you were to buy, say, right now, you're probably going to make some money. Hopefully, we're going to have some fun with the chat. I would love to get everybody's opinion in the chat if you guys got a book. So, with that said, who wants to start? Let's start it up. I want the fire spec. Oh, you know what? Before we start, let's go to the chat. The chat seems to be going up. Luis is always here with our brother. Raider Bear, Comic Dude, Oregon. Let's see here. Evan, Keys, 2 places at once. Cav, what's going on, brother? Bricks, whole list. What's going on, Philly? Made to last. Let's respect, yo. We got a few. I mean, it's more investment than spec, but we'll get to it. So yeah, with further ado, who wants to start?
Well, shoot.
Oh, that sounds like Keys.
Well, firstly, I brought a special book with me just for you, Newbie Comics, and I wish my boy was here right now, the 4th member. But this right here, everybody, is X-Men 245. For those who don't know, it's a controversial issue. They got like 2 nude panels in it, but that's not why I bought it.
Damn.
I'm lying. That's partially why I bought it.
That's
but
definitely why you
I bought it. If anyone was watching Newbie Comics stream, he told you guys to pick up a Star Wars book or Star Trek book or whatever he called it. This little Marvel book right here,
Death Vader, right?
I believe. Yeah, but this is actually a cameo of Darth Vader in the Marvel universe. So I had to bring it up. So I was like, man. I know that I have this book somewhere. So you got Chewie, Yoda, Boba Fett. You got alien xenomorph in there, and Newbie's favorite, Darth Vader, is just chilling in the back.
Darth Vader in there. Oh.
I had to do it. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
You know what? When that Vader book goes up in price, man, and you're like, Newbie, can I have one of your copies? I remember this. I will remember this.
All right, touche.
I will remember this.
All right, so because I'm gonna start off with a super affordable book right off. You know, I know you guys are in the big leagues now. You know what I'm saying? Like libraries and slabs and shit. So I'll start off with the poor man's book here. As we all know, Angela is my character. I have so much faith in her. But the common theme in Marvel movies, especially today in the society that we're living in, contemporary patterns show that representation is key. And speaking of keys, Angela, Asgard's assassin, no, issue 1 is the first appearance of Sarah. It is officially Marvel's first trans character, and I don't want to hear any beliefs on, you know, the matter of that controversy, I think, but representation is key. I can see there must be somebody in the Marvel universe that is going to take that mantle as the first to break that barrier, being the first trans character to make it to the big screen. And this is definitely the way to go. Their first cover appearance is issue 2, but you can find this in the wilds for mad cheap. A lot of people don't know what it actually is.
Isn't that the one when we went to that flea market too?
Oh no, this is from the that's crazy warehouse, man.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't find it anywhere locally, man. So we had to go to that warehouse, and I found a few copies. And I was like, So yeah, this is definitely one that I would book on. Is it coming anytime soon? That's a little debatable. We got Love and Thunder coming out, and we know that Valkyrie may or may not be by. However it works out, possible intro into that. But definitely this type of character is coming to the big screen soon, and I would put my money on this one, in particular, Sarah.
And wasn't there another character that gets introduced in that series or something like that? Like her sister or some shit. I can't
Angela's
remember.
Sister?
Yeah, I don't remember. I could be off.
Angela's brother is Thor.
Yeah, no, I know that. And they have doesn't she have a half sister on the other side or some shit like that? Like
the Angel Heaven side.
Yeah,
totally drawing a blank, man.
Like that.
I'm in it for Sarah.
I could be wrong. It's been so long since I've read that series.
Yeah,
it was a good read though.
I've got no
clue at all
when it comes to Angela. I've got no clue, to be honest.
Yeah, I definitely think that there's a lot of potential to see Angela show up in the MCU.
Yeah, I think the other thing that's really helping it. I mean, personally, I'm in my 30s, but I do think that we will see a Spawn movie for like all those characters and things like.
You damn sure won't see Angela in Spawn.
No, you will not.
No, but you know, that'll probably make people want to see it again if they maybe reboot it, do something along those lines. Because when was the last movie made with what's his name, Jay whatever, and Charlie Sheen?
Michael Jai White.
Yeah, that was like 92, 93, I think, right?
It was in the mid 90s.
Yeah, so. You know, who knows? On the Avengers side, I'm trying to think of that Avengers book that we found in or not Avengers,
Age of Ultron 10?
Galaxy one, the one that we found at the flea market, and I think
that's so Guardians of the Galaxy issue 5. I believe it's volume 3. That is the first full appearance of Angela in the MCU. If you want her cameo appearance, that is Age of Ultron book 10, which is a solid cameo. It's like her floating through space. And you see her, and she's like, "Oh man, I'm pissed off. My name's Angela, and I'm gonna find out who did this to me." You know, it was good.
And Raider Bear is saying it's 1996 the movie. So you know what? Yeah, okay. Bring back.
I think you'll see. I think you got a lot of chance to see Angela show up in the Thor movie.
Yeah,
but the thing is, in the Thor stuff, like, I just feel like we're gonna be seeing a lot of the cosmic stuff. I really think that they're gonna open that up to the cosmic stuff, and then we're gonna be seeing all these characters. I know Keys is very on the not on the fence, but I know how you feel about this. I know how you feel about the book, but Cosmic Ghost Rider, right? Like, I'm just saying, like, I feel like they will, I don't know, go that route eventually, something like way too much cosmic stuff to not use the character. You know, same with like the Nova stuff. You know, certain team members, and we've talked about it briefly on other shows before, right? Like the new Guardians of the Galaxy team and things like that. Like when you look at some of the characters on these teams, like Adam Warlock, Quasar, things like that, you're kind of getting this vibe of, you know, you can kind of see where they're probably going to go. Just my opinion.
Right.
Yeah. I totally, when I start thinking about that stuff, I start thinking like this, and you'll enjoy this, is like anything of like Galactus, like who he comes across, who he has, you know, like just stuff like that, you know, like Silver Surfer, same thing, like battle characters he has. That's why when we did that Fantastic Four stuff, I talked about like Frankie Ray, I talked about the Fallen One, you know, things like that, because it's super possible. You know, Terrax the Tamer, same thing. You know, like we talked about these books, but like you can't expect, if we do see Galactus, just have, you know, Silver Surfer show up and it's going to be like that. I think we kind of saw what happened when Thanos came. He had his group, he had his boys, and I think kind of the same way we're going to get, you know, Galactus, so to speak.
What's up?
Number 4.
Sorry,
Hyper,
guys, I'm
what's
late.
going on?
That's all right, man. That's all right. So Hyper is joining us. 3 Canadians, 1 American. What's going on, brother?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. How are you guys doing?
Chilling.
Wait. That's a bit more sleeves than I was expecting, though.
Bro.
I know, right?
Bro, it's like 0 degrees, man. It's like 32 degrees Fahrenheit. You know, it's chilly. It's chilly.
Why are you talking Fahrenheit? When did you switch to their side?
Yeah. We got.
He's
we
doing
have
the
a-
conversion
we have
for us
an
Americans.
Yes.
We do have an American fan base.
All right.
I'm going.
It's not
Mr.
just Canadians that
Worldwide.
watch.
Keys, what issue of X-Men was that again? 244?
245.
245.
Yeah, 245. Got some frontal tanks in it and some Star Wars characters. It's a good pickup.
Damn, that's a hell of an issue right there.
Bro, there's Storm, there's Jean Grey,
Mm-hmm.
and Yoda. Like, sold, bro. Underrated book.
To get the wheels kind of moving, Keys was just talking about Angela possibly going. I just kind of ranted off there about some cosmic stuff. A book that I would probably, and again, this could be from anywhere. You know, when we're talking investment, when we're talking spec, it doesn't have to be, you know, $5, $20, $100 book. Like it can be a little bigger. These are just books. I'm telling you, these are just books I really believe in. Hyper, you know, you kind of have seen, you know, when we preach about a book, we usually end up buying it. You know, and you said that today.
Put your money where your mouth is.
Yeah, exactly, right?
That's it.
For me, I start looking at certain things. So going for Moon Knight, for example, like 2 of the books I'm talking about, one is Moon Knight, one is Submariner. But you look at Moon Knight, right? What ends up happening? And I kind of refer to Tales of Suspense 39, right? Like a lot of Iron Man people, they can't afford Tales of Suspense. What do? They grab Iron Man 1.
Right.
Moon Knight, right? They can't get that Werewolf 43. Is it 43?
I think it's 32.
32. Okay, 32. You know, that shows you that I can't afford it because I don't even know the goddamn issue number.
I might be spitballing that number, honestly.
I think it's somewhere in there.
It's 32.
It's
Yeah.
32? Okay.
But what ends up happening, I find, and what I'm seeing is that a lot of people, because I've come across a lot of people who are kind of not necessarily arguing with it, but like they're kind of torn between that Moon Knight 1, the purple cover, and then that Marvel Spotlight 28. If you look at how things are going, you know what I mean? Like I would probably put my money on that Moon Knight number 1, probably above a 9.4. I would probably get 6 to 9.6, 9.8 if we can. You've seen the rises, but that book will only go up once that character hits the, you know what I mean? Like hits the series and is possibly in the Avengers. I think that's the big play on that book. I don't think that Marvel Spotlight 28 has that much play. I know it's like his first solo series.
Solo.
I think that I just think that Moon Knight book number 1 is going to be the one, you know what I mean? Like to rise in price. And I know some people are like, well, it's a $200 book. Yes. But look at where, like, you know, the first Submariner was like a few years ago. Even Iron Man #1 in 2016, Iron Man 1 and a 5.0 was like $275, $300.
Really? Wow.
Right?
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and I know because my shop had one, and it was like, nah, that's too much, and I just passed up on it. So,
Yeah.
you know, and you also got to remember, Mark Spector's talking about it in that book. There's also the first Bushman too.
Bushman.
Right? So I don't know. I just think that book could reach a nicer return if you were to say buy it. I know right now you could probably get, I think I've seen like a 9.2 for like 140, somewhere around there. But if you were to able get like say a 9.4 up under like say 250, I would probably jump on it from the investment side.
Yeah, I mean, because the thing is, I think you just hit the nail on a point that I was thinking of also. In terms of both books, that Moon Knight one has a higher ceiling for growth as opposed to the other Marvel Spotlight. And I think that's how some people have to look at it. I mean, sure, Marvel Spotlight, like you said, might command a higher dollar, but because Moon Knight 1 is a cheaper buy-in, you actually have a bigger chance of, you know, making a better return, like you mentioned. It's the same way, like a lot of these Silver Age books that, you know, like a Hulk 81, 181. I mean, it will increase incrementally, but I kind of feel like unless something big happens, that ceiling is almost kind of capped at the moment. You're not going to make much return in flipping a Hulk 81 if you buy it right now. If you would have bought it maybe 10 years ago, different story. So in that sense, yeah, I'm kind of with you on the Moon Knight one.
And this is where you kind of need to buy it, right? Like, you know, there's only been a casting, and yes, they've already said that it's a show, but there are rumors from, like, you know, pretty good people and pretty good sources saying, like, hey, you know, it could start off as a series, and then it could, you know, kind of tip into the MCU.
And the thing about that is that they didn't cast a TV actor in that role. They cast a movie star in that
Exactly,
role.
Exactly. And we kind of touched, I kind of touched on some of the Moon Knight characters to be on the lookout for on Sunday's show when we were doing our spec and new comic book day. I mean, obviously that book is one of the more premier books, I would say, in the Moon Knight one. But I mean, guys, you got to pay attention, right? Like, okay, it's going to be a series. And FaceTime, you kind of put this idea in my head a few weeks ago when we talked about it, actually, when you said, I think it was you and Keys both. I don't know if it was a solo or you guys were together on this, but you guys had mentioned, you know, it's going to be a series. So what can we look forward to? Okay, an hour long, probably. I doubt it's going to be a half hour. It's going to be an hour long. We're probably going to see new characters probably every episode. You know what I mean? So I don't know. Like, it's just going to have potential to grow, and then it's probably going to leave people wanting more. What's that going to do? It's going to drive the book up. And like you said, they didn't just get some random guy. They got Oscar Isaac, like your pretty big movie.
Got Apocalypse himself.
Yeah, Apocalypse, right? So
not as best. Why'd you got to bring up Apocalypse?
I too. I'm sorry.
That's definitely a book like a lot of people. Like, I've had low ball offers on my book. I have that Moon Knight 1 book, and I've had a lot of low ball offers. Like, I've had people message me for like $60, $80 Canadian, and I'm like, no.
Oh, I was there.
I would rather just hold on to that book.
Wow.
Yeah.
Somebody seriously messaged you that offer?
Yeah, $60 for that book. And then when I said, well, there's casting, it's probably a book I'm going to hold on to. They were like, oh, well, it won't be that big. And I was like, okay, then why are you
buying it? So
exactly.
why are you offering it?
I was like, why are you buying it then? Like, so, yeah, I think that book has a lot of potential. And on my next round, when I talk about another book, I'll kind of bring this full circle, and I'll kind of show you, I'll kind of like explain to you guys like kind of how I've seen certain books, especially those like, you know, number ones go in the last couple of years. So yeah, something to look out for.
Cool.
Hey Zen, Magic, what's going on, brother? Zen's in here. What's going on, brother? Yeah, so Face or Hyper, if you guys want to throw a book, let's hear it.
Face, I'll let you take the floor because I just still need to get situated a bit.
Okay. Well, so to go back to Thor, since Keith brought Angela into it, and that kind of led into Thor a little bit. One that I like right now is Thor 337, first Beta Ray Bill.
Yeah, you took one of my picks.
Yeah, that's a good pick, man.
My bad.
No. I was ready, so I got a few more.
Yeah, I think he's a pretty solid spec pick there. I believe you're going to see him show up in one of the Thor movies here soon.
No doubt.
Oh, yeah.
Probably end up with a more expanded role in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Hopefully with like the Guardians of the Galaxy and maybe even his own spinoff stuff, because he's a very popular character. I mean, he's definitely got a huge fan base.
What about like a partner movie with Korg? Would you be cool with that?
Right?
That would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, almost like a buddy cop kind of thing.
That's what I'm saying.
With Thor, you can almost get away with stuff like that now because it's all like his movies have taken on such a life of their own, and the characters that are in it, like.
And he's kind of almost pretty much gotten comfortable in that comic relief kind of character. So it's not. I mean, I wouldn't really put like, let's say, Beta Ray Bill with like a more serious Marvel character, but Thor kind of doesn't take himself too seriously in the MCU. So it's definitely a good fit.
That's a step in the right direction.
Right.
I think it's inedible. Inedible. I think it's, I think he's coming, to be honest with you. I think we all kind of get that feeling from that last Thor movie, Ragnarok. Like, we saw his face in that statue, that, kind of totem pole of, like, all the great warriors that came. I definitely think Face, what's that book run now? I
was gonna say, how much is that?
698. You're probably talking what? Maybe 250, somewhere around there.
Yeah, probably around there.
Around there.
That's US or is that Canadian?
I'd say Canadian.
Hey, Nubu, Christmas is coming soon, bruh.
Keep in mind that, like, Face, this, right? There's 3 different versions, right? There's like the newsstand direct Canadian price variant, and then isn't there like a Mark Jewelers variant?
I believe there is.
There's a Mark Jewelers for that. Wow.
But it's one of those things like back, man, when that came out, like, I believe that was what, late 70s.
It was in the hold on, I actually have it.
Or was it the early
80s? It was 1983.
1983. Yeah, so I think that was still in, like early enough in the 80s that's probably one of the books where like the newsstand, even towards then, I think that was almost getting to the age when it was starting to even out.
Yeah, and it's also, you guys got to, I mean, obviously you guys know what the book looks like. This is kind of, meant for more the newer guys coming into, the industry and things like that. Like, it's also a white cover. It's hard. You know what I mean? So, like, if you do find it in the wild, like, it's like, I actually had this happen with Keys. We went to the flea market and the guy was like, hey, this book is near mint. And Keys was like, oh, can I see it? And Keys looked at it. Man, Keys right away was like, there's like 8 on this. How the hell is this near mint, right? So you got to make sure that you guys, there is one thing about like finding books in the wild. Yeah, you can find them. It's just you got to be careful on the condition. And you got to make sure the price matches the condition, right? Obviously, if you find this book in the wild and someone's offering, they say $80 and it's in shit condition, well, just take care of your investment. Obviously, it's a hard book to come across in a very high grade because it's white.
And I shared this story actually on Sunday with you guys when we were doing our new comic talk. Even before this whole thing about Beta Ray Bill being announced for the MCU, I think 2 years ago, I bought a Thor collection from a guy, issued 337 to like 360, so that's like 30 odd issues. I paid 145 Canadian for the whole lot.
Oh wow!
Yeah, you mentioned. Yeah.
Damn, son. Yo,
that's crazy.
Yo, why?
How much did you pay?
That's a good deal.
You just showed Hyper.
That was part of the lot.
Oh yeah. Oh shit.
Yeah. That was because his collection started from 337, so right on his first appearance. because it was like the Walter
Damn,
Simon.
he started that at the right time.
Yeah.
So many 7.5, 8.0 copies being sold as near mint copies these days. Be careful. Yeah, you got to be careful.
Yeah.
You know, you got to look at the spine. You got, like, don't be afraid to ask to see the book. Like, if it's on a wall, don't just buy it based on a look. From far away, it could look amazing, but it could be far from amazing once it's, like, right in front of you, you know?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, especially when you're buying online, unless I trust the seller, if it's like a really high-priced Grail book, I'd much rather feel comfortable buying it graded than raw.
Yeah.
Unless it's a steal, if it's like a super steal, then I might take a gamble on a raw book. But usually, if it's a raw book, I need to see it in person, kind of inspect it, you know, flip through the pages and all that. Because I don't want to go through the hassle of, let's say the book isn't what it is, and then I have to contact the seller, and then we have to have this back and forth.
Yeah.
You know.
And obviously, the seller's gonna, you know, he's always on the phone and messaging you, like, prior to you bringing the money. But then as soon as you're like, hey man, you know, like, you kind of, you know, screwed me, this isn't what I bought, then it's like, oh man, I'm not around my phone and all that shit. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
Yeah.
I think Magic Lasso said it best in the chat there, bro.
It's like
online dating.
No, I don't know. I don't know if I can.
Before y'all getting catfish on eBay.
I don't know if I could apply the same logic. I can't exactly flip through the pages and inspect it like the way I wanted to with a book. That might, you know, that might put me in jail or something. So I might have to take a hands-off approach in that sense.
Yeah, I mean, like, and this is something that I always tell, like, and I know I'm just referring to Keys, but Keys is my guy. Keys is the guy I go and comic hop with. He's the guy we go to flea markets. And I always tell him, like, I could see his look. I knew he wanted the book, and I knew he was mad about the grade. And what I remember, I tell him this all the time because he kind of says it to me too. He goes, I said, Keys, you're the one with the money. You can easily say, no, thank you, put it back on the wall. Like, you don't have to be forced to buy it if you're not, you know, if the money and the grade and the book and the condition don't match up, then don't buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right. I looked him dead in the eye. I was like, hey, I'm Mr. Key Issues. And he looked back at me. He's like, who? I was like, all right, never mind. Fuck that.
No, you ain't Keys. The Keys I know doesn't have sleeves.
Yeah.
He's in a coat too, so, you know, that could have thrown him off.
Yeah, it held me back, man. Yeah. It was awkward for everybody.
That's what it was. You thought it was the imposter.
Yeah. This man's wearing a full sleeve shirt. Get him out.
All right, please. What's a book? You know, you want the people to know for an investment side? Let's talk.
Who's that? Who called on?
You're next.
All right, check this out. Seeing as I was at this panel last second. Wait, what?
Go ahead.
Seeing as I was added to this panel last second, I can guarantee you that if you take action now, you can get this book for cover price. Everybody write this down. Take your pens and pencils out. The issue of the book is a big question mark because I don't know what issue it's going to be. If you guys went to your LC, it's coming out in the future though. It's that DC Future State event that's happening. It's like a 2-month event.
Oh, okay.
I
know where you're going.
It's the what?
It's the freebie, the one that comes out. It's the free comic book day.
Nah, bro, I don't know what you're saying. It's freebie, man. It's a whole event. There's going to be multiple releases.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay, so one of the characters that are coming out for the first comic book debut appearance. Now, maybe it's my generation. Maybe that's why I'm like so hyped up right now. It's Red X. All right, Red X. If you guys don't know, made its debut in Teen Titans, and this was like a viewer favorite character. It was a disguise made by Robin. Whatever, I'll get the hell with the backstory. It was pretty much a disguise for Robin to infiltrate Slade, but whatever. Someone stole the costume, and then there was actually a Red X character, and nobody ever figured out the identity. It was a total mystery. This is like a stupid long spec. I am definitely going to be picking up this first appearance once I kind of, view and see exactly when this issue is dropping. This is someone you should look out for. Let's be real. These like one-offs and universes and whatnot have spawned some pretty cool characters like, I don't know, Spider-Gwen and other investor possibilities. Red X is one that the fans love, and I'm hoping that my generation shows this love to the comic world too, because Teen Titans was crazy. Everybody loved the character. This is one that I would totally recommend. Once we know for sure which issue we pick up, is that Red X debut.
Wow. You know, when you say it's not, you know, like when you give your info, man, like I know you throw it out there like it's crazy, but I remember people talking about certain books like years ago too, like Guardians of the Galaxy. That book blew up. You know what I mean? Keys, I know you don't believe me, and actually I'm happy that somebody in the chat brought it up earlier. But even like you look at some stuff and it might be stupid or whatever, or not common right now, but you don't know. Like Squirrel Girl, for example.
Oh,
Squirrel Girl, like 2 years ago, was not $150 to $200 book, and now that's where it's at. So, you know, you just gotta follow it. You gotta have a hunch, and you gotta go with your gut.
And the thing is, the funny thing about Squirrel Girl is she made her appearance in one of those what is it, like those Marvel summer holiday issues, like those one-off issues. So it wasn't even on an actual series itself. That's the thing. Some of these characters, they make appearances in weird places. Like Rocket Raccoon made his appearance in a series called Satana.
Yeah, it's not actually that Thor book or the Hulk book.
Oh, yeah.
But it's just a popular cover, and people just assume it. I don't even think in the notation it says first appearance, right? I had that book. I had that book raw.
I mean, isn't that technically his first cover appearance, though?
I don't know.
It could be.
It may have a notation about a name change from Rocky Raccoon to Rocket Raccoon.
Right.
Yeah, that could be it. All right, cool. All right, Hyper, give us a book, brother.
All right, so hold on, let me get situated. All right, so one character that I think just like Beta Ray Bill, another character that starts with a B is Black Adam. I think, pretty much all signs are pointing to him making an appearance in the DCU. And with the way Dwayne The Rock Johnson has been pitching hard for that character, I don't see how AT&T Time Warner won't bring him into the spotlight, because he's a character that he almost has like that niche following, just like Moon Knight. And just like Moon Knight, there's not that many key issues out there for Black Adam in terms of cover appearances and all that. If you want to go for his first appearance, it's going to cost you a lot, because that's going all the way back to the Golden Age.
Yeah.
So usually most people will stick to his first Silver Age appearance, which is, I believe, I wrote it down, Shazam 28. I think that's about, on a high grade, it's definitely probably over $1,000 or so if you're looking at the high grades, but mid grade you're probably in like the $500-$600 range, I would think. But in my case, that's kind of a bit out of my price range, so I started looking into other areas, just like you, Newbie, where Moon Knight's first appearance might not be, in your budget. So I look at, some iconic covers that Black Adam was featured in. So I actually brought some here.
Ooh, he's got them too.
Oh,
the Alex Ross 1 in 10.
Oh, yeah.
I've put that one out before, yeah.
That one, I know when I got it like a year or two ago, it was like $40-$50. I think now that's almost like over $100 book, just because there's been the talks have been, ramping up with this character. And that's the thing. Usually when there's not much, going on, that's when you buy, because I think some people get averse to buying certain things because there is no rumors or any talks, so they think that it's dead. But I think that's like your best time to buy these kind of books, because now it's like if you want to go look for it, you're almost paying more than you should have.
Yeah, but it's funny that you bring that character up, because another thing that really helps a book is also the marketability of the character, like the actors who play it. And it's not like they just got some dude off the street to play this guy. Like they got literally
some dude out the gym.
Dwayne The Rock, you know what I mean? Like big star. Like
well, that's the thing.
up. It's going to be super popular. Like I can totally see going down when that movie comes out, going down an aisle in Walmart, and there just be like, you know, posters, cups, action figures, this, that, the, you know, Halloween costume for whenever it comes out, kind of thing. Like, it's good, even though it is a $600 book. If that's what you're saying. I could totally see it climbing if you were to take that purchase, seeing it in the thousands after that movie.
And I mean, and do you really think that if The Rock was to play Black Adam, that he's going to just have a one-off appearance? I'm pretty sure that if The Rock was on board, they'll milk that cow dry and they'll try to get him in many, not just his movies, probably in some other crossover movies. And for sure, he plays perfectly well in the Shazam universe as well.
Yeah.
So
100%.
There's many avenues for him to go in. And actually, another cover, this is a bit more cheaper, actually. I think you could still find this for like 10.
I've seen that one too. Yeah,
this?
both of them. This one more so than that Alex Ross one.
Sorry?
I've seen that one more in, like, say, the Wild than I did the Alex Ross. I think I've only seen it on like a wall.
Well, technically, they're actually both Alex Ross. But the thing is, the first one I showed you was a ratio variant. The other one was a regular price book. So that's why you'd probably find that a lot more readily in
yeah, probably why.
And
anything DC.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you can't afford his first appearance, I always like to look at his like solo series or something that, you know, one of his first solo series. So actually, hold up.
Solo series.
So in 2007, I mean, he had his own solo series, Black Adam 1. It's a 6-issue miniseries. This one isn't that expensive. And the thing is, there's actually been talks that the storyline might be kind of tapping into that miniseries because it has to do with him trying to find his wife, Isis, who's also another rumored character in the Black Adam universe. So that's another character. I forgot what her first appearance is, but she plays an integral part in Black Adam's, you know, storyline. So yeah.
Yeah, man. I agree with you. That's
to get the close up, man.
Then I absolutely agree with you, man. If he does well, he could. Like I said, I think that book would be $1,000 book once, you know, the movie and all that's done. So yes, is $600 a lot of money for a book? Absolutely. But if you're going to take that investment, you're going to take that jump, and you can buy it now. If you're looking for a good investment in something marketable, that is one of, you know, a prime example of a book that will jump. That book is not going to go down in price once the movie comes out and then say, hey, The Rock's going to do another movie or two. You know, like, it's just not going to happen.
And just since we're on the current topic, FOC just passed, but I know that there's a Boss Logic variant of Black Adam for Endless Winter. That one you might want to be on the lookout for, because like I said, there's not that many solo Black Adam covers out there, and if Boss Logic is doing it, I would definitely grab that one for sure.
Right.
I'll have to take a look at that one. The book that I was talking about, and I said, you know, I'll get back to it in full circle, is another #1 issue. It is the first Submariner, that solo series. So I remember a few years ago, I think it was like 2015, 2016, that Fantastic Four #4 was like a $700 book. Mm-hmm. And I just kind of have that reoccurring thing right now when I start thinking about some of the books you guys are talking about, and even like the Black Adam, for example, perfect example, another book that was kind of in that range, and then now it's getting the popularity. You know, they got that, you know, The Rock, Submariner, same thing. Now you try to get that Fantastic Four issue #4, the $2,000 book.
Yeah, man.
And wait, you know what the funny thing is? Wasn't there even rumors that The Rock was gonna play the Submariner also?
Yeah, I think
so, actually.
Yeah, I think I heard that, but they like squashed it because like The Rock would just be too muscular or something like that, where Submariner's not like he's cut, I could say, almost like a Tarzan type, not like a
shredded. Yeah, he's not shredded.
Yeah.
But for that case, that's why I'm going with Submariner #1, that blue cover. that one again, almost kind of like that Moon Knight one, but this one's a little higher because this one is, I mean, you're probably going to find more so in that 3.0 to like the 5.0 range, but you're looking at almost $300 somewhere around there for that one. And again, once people realize that they can't afford that one, and mind you, the first appearance is in like Golden Age 2, that Fantastic Four is for Silver Age. But even that one is just getting, I mean, if it's $2,000 now, just imagine what they're going to be selling for when the trailer drops, right? Or when he drops at all. Like, it's going to probably jump another $1,000. So this is another book that people are probably going to go down the pipeline, right? They're probably going to say, shit, I can't afford that one. I might as well get this number one. Again, another $200-$300 book that could see a double or a spike once the character shows up. And it's kind of on, not like it's on the down low, because not a lot of people are talking about it, because a lot of people are talking about it. But it's getting to that area where we're getting into like, hey, what's the next book? What's the next character? So it's kind of losing a little bit if you kind of look at the recent sales. So something to be on the lookout for.
Yeah. I take that bet.
Submariner, that's a holy, yeah, man. I don't even know what that book goes for. Like his actual first appearance in Golden Age, I don't know what it goes for.
But newbie, another issue that also might tie in would be that team up. What is it? Iron Man and Submariner.
Yeah, that actually is before Iron Man 1.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that you can't go wrong with that one. Too. That one's in that the $500 to $600 range right now. There are a lot more copies, I would say, of that one than there would be of, say, Submariner #1.
I figure, yeah, for sure.
I like that they thought it was a good idea to team up a dude in a fucking metal suit and a dude that lives underwater.
Yo, he's got a water suit.
Does he?
Yeah,
he has a water suit?
He's got a water suit. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's Iron Man. Shoot, I think it's
H2O.
Iron Man 2.
He had that water suit in 1940, whatever.
Oh man, there's one where he's got it. I think I have it actually in mind because I kind of collect those with like the different suits and stuff like that, like the space suit, the iron. Like when he's got all of them kind of going and running on their own kind of thing. You can find those books for like $1, like literally $1. So, yeah. All right, Face, what's your next book, brother?
All right, so my next book is probably my favorite book that I put on the list. And it does have spec value that it's based in the fact that there's been, talk of a movie coming, but it's also just like, I don't know, it's one of those books that's kind of one of like a classic comic that, every comic collector should probably look at some point, trying to maybe add to their collection. New Gods #1. And, obviously, like I said, there's a New Gods movie coming at some point. But one of the other things about this book is that it's Jack Kirby all the way around. It's Jack Kirby art, Jack Kirby story. I mean, it doesn't get much more classic than that. So, yeah,
that's a really good pick.
And I know they got the director for the movie and everything like that. So I'm not sure how far along they've been in production, but apparently that's coming pretty soon too.
Yeah, I've been hearing about that book for a while. I think Simple Man's was talking about it back in February, somewhere around there, February or March, actually. And I remember Brian was saying, he's like, I would not sleep on this. And since then, that's all I've been hearing is don't sleep on it. That book right now, though, I'd say mid-grade, like a 5.0. I think we'll wrap you up somewhere between Canadian-wise. I'm thinking about the last one I saw, maybe like 200, somewhere around there. A low to mid-grade, somewhere around there. So again,
right. I'm not sure on conversions and everything. So
it's about 50 US.
It's just one of those books. Like sometimes people get like, they get scared off when like I know I talk to people. Like I had this one guy I work with, and he's like, "All right, man, I need to invest in something. What book should I invest in?" And I'm like, okay, put money in this book. He's like, how much does it cost? And I'll be like, oh, it's like $300, $400. And he's looking at me like I'm, you know, out of my mind for a book. And I'm like, yeah, but if you hold on to it, like, it might double in price once this happens. The book that he asked me about was, he asked for two, and I said Eternal and The First Carnage. I said you could find those two books right now anywhere from $250 to $350, and they're probably going to get you. If you can hold on to it, you're probably going to make maybe $150, $200 on your investment. And he just looked at me like I was out of my mind. He's like, how do people, you know, spend this kind of money on this book? I'm like,
yeah, that's the thing. I mean, whenever you talk comics among your non-comic friends, and then like obviously to us it makes sense and like we could kind of rationalize it, but I could see from their perspective it's like, why would you spend that, like, you know, but at this, yeah, there's sometimes you can't really rationalize with them. You just kind of have to be like, all right.
Yeah, but it's crazy to me, right? Like my mom, bless her soul, I love her. We were Keys, was Keys there? I don't know if Keys was there. We went into this comic book store. We were visiting my sister, and she was getting bored. I took a long time. I was like, you know what? I'll be back in 15 minutes, and it ended up being like 40 minutes. So she kind of came in, and she was like, yo, what are you doing? Like, we got to go. You know, it was like my sister's birthday. Like, family's waiting. So I bought ASM 37, the first Norman Osborn, and the guy gave me a deal, so I ended up paying $40 for it. And she looks at me and she goes, "It says 12 cents on it. Why are you paying for it?" Right? And I'm like, 12 cents, like in fucking 61 or wherever, you know, like I can't remember what day it came out, but I'm like, this isn't 12 cents now, Mom. And she looked at me and she's like, you comic book people are crazy, spending that much money on a book. I'm like, hey, it is what it is. Like that's just what
and $40 is probably on a good day.
Right?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Right?
All right. Keys, give us the book, brother.
Jeez. All right. We're gonna come in with that low. I gotta go with the first appearance of the Midnight Suns, man. I feel like Justice League Dark has theirs, so we need a Marvel version, and that's Ghost Rider issue 28, I believe, from the second series. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. A lot of first appearances in that book.
Wait, Keith, is that the 6 issues with the polybags? Is that that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it all starts off with Ghost Rider 28. That's
okay. I actually grabbed that set last year, I believe, actually.
God, I have that set, but I'm missing 2 polybag ones. Jeez, I don't know if we'll get them. What?
I think I put you on that book.
I'll put you on YouTube, bro. Chill.
Whoa, shot fired.
Wow, man.
I was like, wow. Yeah, no. Newbie definitely put me on that book.
Yeah, I told you about that book. I said, hey, man, you better jump on this book. And I think you picked up your copy in like June. So,
but he just volleyball spiked that comment right back at you.
He definitely did.
He just quit.
He saw that ball coming and he went.
Yeah, no, you know what? There's a lot of first appearances in that. Obviously, it's one of those books, though, again, you know, giving some information to new people who may not know. If you see that book, CGC and graded, you're not going to see the citation saying, hey, this is the first Midnight Sun. Or the team that's involved. You're only going to see, I believe the only one that shows up on that notation is the first appearance of Lilith.
I believe so.
Right?
Because that's the relevant
character's being used.
I don't know.
I don't know.
But it doesn't like refer to the team as the first appearance, right?
No.
It's kind of like the same thing with what is it? Swamp Thing 49 and 50. Like when Justice League Dark was like a thing for like a minute, people were jumping on those books like crazy. In the citation, though, it doesn't say that that's the first appearance of that team or anything like that. I think it just says, hey, appearance by or appearance of, and then it names like all the people, right? So like Dead Man and all those fucking things, right? So sometimes you got to make sure you look at the citation.
Shoot. If you want to cover your bases, then pick up 28 and 31.
Yeah,
that'll cover your bases there.
I would just pick up the whole set if you can, because I mean, they can't be that expensive right now, right?
Yeah,
not bad. 28's slowly going up in price, like online, but you can still find it locally, man. So I'm
I mean,
don't go to, just because it's in a poly bag does not mean it's near mint.
No.
Not think that.
Yeah.
That's like the one piece of advice I always give people, because that's one comment that people always ask me, like, hey, but it's in a bag, so it's gotta be perfect. No,
but you can sell it as unopened, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but still.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't want that negative feedback if I'm putting my name on something saying, hey, buy this book, it's unopened. And then somebody gets like a shitty grade, they open it or whatever, and then it turns out it's like an 8.0 or something like that. Like
surprise, motherfucker.
So
8.0, yeah, I feel that one.
So I don't know, but geez, that book is super cheap. Actually,
what the hell did they do to this book to get it at 8.0 while it's still in the bag?
Bro, I don't know. The bag just doesn't like the book, man.
Well, sometimes it depends on if like that Keys, the guy that we picked up ours, like his long boxes were super tight. Like we had to take books out just to get through them. It depends, right? Sometimes just the way they put it. Sometimes people flicking through, pulling it up. It's just a lot of things. But it's like JR with CBT. You can find. Oh wait, that's not the comment. He said you can find it in dollar bins, and that's where I found mine. That's where Keys found his. Like it's out there, and
found a few.
I bought the entire set during. They have like those Christmas conventions, like right before the holidays. I bought the whole set for sometimes like before the holidays, like they have like a con where like a mini con where some of the stores get. Well, in Montreal at least they do.
Not this year, buddy.
Not this year. This was last year.
Christmas, baby.
The whole set, I think I bought it for $10.
There's another book in that set. Keys, you always kind of tell me about it, but isn't there like not necessarily an error, but isn't there one that's like the numbers are off or something, or the Morbius one? You always tell me in that run.
Man, I can't remember. I cannot remember it to save my life right now, but it could be the Morbius.
Yeah, there's something about the Morbius that it's like 1, but it says it's like
it was
3 or something. Yeah, there's something weird with it. But anyway, you can't go wrong either because it's got Morbius on the cover. But yeah, you can find that whole set like super cheap.
Yeah.
All right, Hyper, next book, brother.
All right. Now this is gonna probably get people's heads scratching because they're gonna wonder why I'm bringing this character up since he's actually been a dead spec for a bit. Black Winter.
No.
Exactly. No, but hear me out. All right, so
we don't talk about him on this show. we don't talk about him on this show.
Yeah, what was his first appearance?
Oh,
yeah, I don't remember.
This is why I drink, boys. This is not.
I don't remember.
All right, but peep this. All right, so the thing is, we know. Okay, obviously we're gonna get into a bit of spoiler talk. I mean, but this arc has already been out for a while, so fair warning. We know that Black Winter pretty much got his run wrapped up in this first 6-issue arc of Thor. And thing is, I know a lot of people started dumping their Thor 5s. For a hot minute, that book, his first appearance, was going for a CGC 9.8 for about 300 US. I know this because I had a few copies, so I was tracking the sales. Now, you're lucky if you can even sell that for what, like maybe $200 maybe on a good day. Yeah, but here's why I think there's some legs to this character. And it has to do with the way Cates writes his characters in general. I don't think it's a coincidence that Cates would have given us this big intergalactic character that pretty much punked out Galactus, and to have him just be, sniffed out in the first 6 issues. There's got to be more to it, in my opinion. And I'm kind of drawing this same parallel with Null, who's, going to have his not first, but he's going to have a whole, Marvel miniseries revolved around him. if you were following Donny Cates' Venom run, Null was pretty much taken off the table after the first arc of Venom. He had the whole Grendel Dragon thing, and he had a confrontation with Eddie Brock, and then Null was gone. And that book also kind of dipped in price. I know when Venom 3 hit newsstands, it was already like a $30, $40 book. Back then, Donny Cates didn't have the same notoriety as he did now, so it's not like that book shot up to the same value as Thor 5. But after, I think, Venom 6, the Null books kind of dropped, and it kind of stayed in the basement for a bit. What happened? Suddenly, talk started coming about, Null resurfacing through Absolute Carnage. Specs started to go up, and now we have King in Black.
Yeah.
And there was that period also in Venom where Venom was kind of separated from the symbiote, and he was kind of trying to find himself. And it's almost like the same parallel with Thor right now. Thor is almost like he lost the hammer, and he's kind of going through a little bit of a self-awareness kind of journey. So I kind of draw the same parallels between Thor's journey and Eddie Brock's journey.
Yeah, but I'm just afraid that we're gonna be into this, and then like Black Winter is gonna be revealed to be like Rhino or Shocker or something.
I don't think. Well, the thing is, okay. I know. Okay, obviously that's a callback to Virus and all that, but I don't think so, because the thing is, I don't think we can discount the fact that this guy, pretty much schooled Galactus right off the bat, and not a lot of people can say that. Like, there's only a handful, Thanos being one, and I'm sure there's a few others, but it's not like Galactus is not some chump that a lot of characters can just take out. So the fact that and here's the other thing. Unlike Kindred, where we had 50 long issues to draw that whole saga out, the fact that Donny Cates took him off the table this quickly almost makes me think that he wants to kind of lull us into this sense where we're going to forget about Black Winter for a bit. And then when he returns, it's almost going to be unexpected. So that's why I'm still banking on Black Winter being a character to look out for. Now, here's the thing. I understand because I bought my Thor 5s at cover price. So for me, I have no...
I'm sure everybody got Thor number 5 at cover price, right?
I hate
and if you didn't get Thor 5 at cover price.
But the thing is, the people that I think that are hurting the most are those that probably spent, and I mean, look, do you as a collector, but for the life of me, I never understood why people were spending upwards of $300 on a 9.8 CGC for a character that hasn't been proven. Those are the people that I'm sure are very sour on the whole Black Winter thing, because they had a lot financially tied to him.
Yeah, that's true.
Whereas I think for guys that have just kind of lucked into the character and maybe just picked up an issue at cover and are hoarding a few issues here and there, I think the best thing to do is just ride this wave out, and I feel he'll be back. I don't think we've seen the last of him.
I agree with you. I have seen the prices drop a little bit because
It's actually a lot.
A lot. So this would be the perfect time to buy it. Here's my buyer beware, just from my experience. I have a hard time putting in $200 on a book that's kind of just been out for like a short period of time.
I wouldn't either. You
know what I mean? Because like actually it was funny because somebody had posted something. It was like one of those memes, but he put up like 2 different sales. So it was like the first it was like Green Lantern. It's the one where Arrow shows up in the crossover, where it's the green cover, Lantern kind of putting his hand in the lantern, and then Green Arrow kind of breaks the thing. It's like one of those Green Lantern.
Is it not the Denny O'Neil issue?
I don't know which one it is. Like I know the picture, but like it's one of those, like if you're into Green Lantern, you obviously have it. That one's going for $300, right? It's like that's the smarter play. But then someone's got like this like fourth print of like fucking some I can't remember. It's like a newer Venom thing, and it's for the same price. And the meme was like, "Oh, I love seeing all these guys spend that kind of money on modern when you can be having like real books kind of thing." I just kind of have that buyer beware with like a lot of newer and modern books, like it, you know, like you said, ones that aren't like proven or established.
But the thing is,
risk on Eddie Brock, not Eddie Brock, Dylan Brock, right? And even that, like I went to a shop today and they had a 9.8 Venom 9, and the guy I think was asking $400, and I was just like, I couldn't grasp spending $400 on, you know, on that. I'd rather put my money on like Fantastic 467.
Well, that's the thing, and then also you kind of have to ask yourself, why are you buying that book? If you're buying it more from a speculative sense, then how much more higher from a $400 purchase can you really make?
Yeah.
Like, how much profit can you really get? Now, if you're doing it for your own personal collection, that's a different story. I mean, at that point, you know, maybe it's a different scenario. But from a speculative sense, I mean, if you're kind of shopping around and you're already at the high end, there's not really much room for you to kind of, you know, make any money off that, right? So
yeah. So for maybe a few that don't know, obviously he doesn't know, but me and Keys actually, we were there the day that Thor 5 came out. Stacked like this. The stack probably had maybe 50 copies, 60 copies. He specifically said, "Hey man, like, what do you think?" And I kind of remember, like, I kind of just looked at him and said, "Man, Black Winter, come on." And then I made the I guess the executive quote, and I ate my words probably like an hour later because everybody was blowing me up saying, "You pick it up, you got it, look what it's going for." And then now, you know, you're seeing the benefit of the book going for.
No, but actually, Noob, to some people, they would say that you were right, because currently he is kind of on the low. And actually, someone in the chat also already put that a 9.8 for, I think, Thor 5 is like 110 or something they found. So it's really tanked. So, I mean, like I said, it's usually when something is low, that's probably your best time to grab it. Because why would you wait for it to be on the upswing and then start purchasing it? It's almost like you kind of have to catch it before that wave comes.
Yeah, I just always like I know Faces heard me say this Keys like multiple times. It's tough because, like I just said, right? Like, okay, Venom 9, I was really into it. I really wanted to pick up. I really believed in Dylan. Okay, but you go look at a 9.8, it's $400, somewhere around there. You know, like the $300 to $400 range. And then I started thinking to myself, I'm like, why wouldn't I put this money in like silver or like?
Yeah,
you know,
I can see that. Yeah.
Right? Like, it's just, I don't know, man. It's one of
Honestly,
those what you like, obviously, but it's tough because Universe X actually said it. He goes, and it's true, 100% true. But modern books will be old too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely.
Every you know, character has a origin and a beginning. So 30 years from now, you know, yeah, who knows which characters will stick and which characters are just going to be, you know.
We already seen it, you know, like Vengeance 1, Blue Marvel, you know, like these characters, Sentry, like you're seeing all these characters blow up super quick. It's crazy, man. It's unreal. Like, is this Canadian or American pricing?
Can be found now between. That seems like, more. I feel that's more American because.
Yeah. That seems very low to me. Yeah. So it was, I think $375 or $400. I saw a lot of books today, but that's one that kind of caught my eye because it was one that I was.
Yeah, that's probably the American price.
Yeah, I think it's too low for Canadian. Actually, well, speaking of like, say a book that not necessarily is not proven, and Hyper, I've kind of mentioned this to you, and I think we talked about it a few weeks ago. But Nova #1. Speaking with you of like, you know, when
another pickup mark.
Yeah, when to buy like when do you want to buy the book when it's super low? Who's talking about Nova right now? No one. The only
Nova, buddy.
Nova is the people that like, you know, hold the book and they're trying to sell it, right? So I think this is the perfect time to get Nova. Like,
yep.
I'm just weary because, you know, it is strictly going on rumor. Obviously, we haven't seen him, you know, him specifically, but the way we're going with, like, say, the cosmic stuff, Guardians of the Galaxy, all this, you kind of want to bet that they're probably going to do it. So
here's a question. Here's a question, Noobs. Which Nova do you go for? Sam Wilson or Richard Rider, aka Dick Rider?
I would go with the original, man.
Yeah.
I that's just me, though. I'd go original. It's like when you talk about Quasar. Which Quasar? Because there's a lot of rumors about Avril, whatever you want to call it.
Sorry, it's not Sam Wilson, it's Sam Alexander. Sam Wilson is the Falcon. My bad.
Yeah.
I got the Sam mixed up.
Too many Sams. Yeah, you gotta go with him. You gotta go with the original, man. I don't know. I
agree. I just wanted to pose that question to you.
I don't even know how much that second one goes for.
It's not that much. I think I actually saw it on the wall, maybe for like $50-$60 maybe.
Yeah, and you know what? Speaking of Comic Night, it's perfect that you're coming in because we had a conversation a few months ago, and he's actually another Canadian, so shout out to Canada on the show. But he was the one that, you know, when I talk about a mirror image, he actually was, you know, we kind of started talking about, like, you know, the mirror thing, right? Like Guardians of the Galaxy, Eternals, you know, things like that. And that's the one that I used. But he had put it in my head, you know, think about Nova kind of being like not necessarily the same mantle, but in almost the same way that we would have taken Iron Man, right? Like when you do that mirror, he's like, you know, it could be something. So, you know, why not get that book? I mean, it's not like, I don't think it's going to be a $2,000, $3,000 book by any means. But if you're buying the book right now for $200-$300, he hits, he shows up, he's here, he's there, he's marketable. Like, look at what they did with Captain Marvel. Like, it's gonna kind of be similar to that style, and they kind of played it out pretty good. So, I mean, if you're looking at a book that's like anywhere between $200-$300 book, and $200-$300, who's to say that book isn't a good play? This is the perfect time to buy it because nobody's talking about Nova. Everybody's selling it. They're like, no, man, you know what? It's not going to happen. Okay, well, this is the perfect time.
But I would say that if you are going to shop for Nova, I would think go for the higher grade just because there are so many out there. Yeah. You're better off going for something above a 9.0 if you can afford it.
I would even say higher than 9.4.
Okay.
If you're going to spend, me personally, I would probably wait until, say, January, when Christmas is over. People don't have, I mean, obviously people have money, but January is historically the month that everyone's paying their bills. Everybody's paying all that credit card stuff for their Christmas stuff. You know, it's gloomy, it's dark, you know, depending on where you are. Here in Canada, it's fucking cold. You don't go out in January kind of. So I could kind of see somebody having that book and being like, shoot, I need some money. I got to sell this book, and you might be able to get a deal on it, right? And especially because I don't think there's going to be anything movie talk about him anyway, whether it be now or in January. So why not just wait?
And the funny thing is, I think they actually did reference the Nova Corps in the Guardians, right?
Yeah. But not him specifically.
Oh, so, the whole Corps, the Nova Corps.
Yeah. So it is possible. They are building it up. I just don't think, like, I think people are sleeping on it too quick. Like they're just selling very quickly on this book, and I think it's going to be one of those that it's going to be like, fuck, I had 2 copies, why did I sell them, kind of thing. Yeah. Before we go on to Face's book, I just want to put this out there. I posted it on my IG, and it's only because he's one of the good dudes in the community. I consider him a friend. You know, he's Canadian, but he's got unreal books. He's going to have a live claim sale on his channel. I posted it in my story, so make sure you guys go check out Comic Night tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. The guy just teases crazy books, so if you're in the mood to buy with Christmas coming and you got somebody that wants a big book or you want to add to your collection, definitely go check out Comic Night. I'm not buying you one of those books, man.
Come on, man.
Dude, the guy, Sammy's got fire, man. Like, you crazy? Some of the books he's got, he actually teased in one of his Instagram stories. He teased going through a box of slabs, and it's like straight fire. So
I like it raw. You know what I'm saying? I don't impress me much.
Well, I saw your video today. I mean, you got congrats on your first slab, man.
Yo, thank you. I'm in the big leagues. I'd like to, shout out to Comic Zombie, Comic Gods. Thank you for blessing me. Part of the slab squad now, boys. I'm official now. Like, shoot.
Welcome to the fold.
Hey, there's a lot of people that don't collect slabs.
Man, it's crazy. You hear that? That's crinkle. That's beautiful slab crinkle noises, man. Like, I'm pumped right now. So, Nubi, if you want to make me like a slab holder that says, badass motherfucker on the back, and in the front it'll be like Mr. Key Issues, so I can put my slab on it. That would be so cool, man.
And now we're just gonna have to age restrict the video every time that slab comes up.
Oh yeah. True.
Hey, welcome to the club, man. Welcome to the club. I think my first comic that I ever bought was a slab, and it was like a pretty big book because like I kind of went in like super heavy on it like years ago.
What? That was the first?
Hold up. The first book that you ever bought was in a fucking slab, and you couldn't even read it?
Buddy, what?
Even I'm wrapping my head around.
You know what the book was?
What was it?
X-Men 266. Gambit. I was obsessed with Gambit and Rogue, and came across it.
But normally people go for like raw, and then they graduate to slab.
Raw.
You skip
power.
I was hanging around like
old dirty bastard. Ooh, I like it raw. Like
dude that like they put up or shut up. Like they would kind of buy they'd walk into certain stores and just buy wall books like nothing. And then I was kind of like, well, I like Gambit. Like I was just getting into it. And then they're like, no, you got to go. Then that's the book right there. Boom, boom, boom. And I got it. And it was like, yeah, okay.
That's crazy to me, man. That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy.
Damn, they love seeing you come in there.
Yeah.
Well, so I don't know if Keys remembers, but one of the stores that we actually go to, Big B Comics in Niagara Falls, a few years ago, they were like they had like nice wall books, but the guy owns 3 stores, so they kind of during this pandemic have just taken most of the books and put them in.
That's where they went.
Yeah. So, so that's what happened. So now at this store, like they don't have as many wall books, just because they're not trading and things like that. So yeah, but there was a once in a
I remember
time that store, like man, they had a lot of great stuff. Like every day you would go, and I mean there would be new wall books, because they do trading, they do buy books, they do sell books, obviously. So yeah, crazy.
Nice.
Yeah, I saw this comment by JJW. X-Men 266, great book. Second appearance of Gambit.
Right.
Oh man, let's get it.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It is a second appearance.
Well, but you have both, right?
I've got 4 copies of X-Men Annual 14.
Yeah, so your base is covered.
Yeah, oh yeah, I'm covered. Man, I tell Keys all the time, pick that book up. Like, what is wrong with you? Pick that book up.
It's like my saying how like the people that argue that Hulk 180 is the first appearance, those are usually the people that own Hulk 180 but don't have Hulk 181 yet.
Okay, before we go on to Face's book, okay,
we're
about to go to Face's. I just want to ask you, and it doesn't have to be long. It doesn't have to be a long conversation. It could just be as simple as yes or no. As yes or no. But 5 years down the road,
yeah,
do we have a CGC change with that 180 and 181? Like,
nope.
Do you see it? No. Okay. So with that said, I would probably still side with 181 team, even though if you look at it, I mean,
there's too much politics and people invested in that book that there would be an uproar if they ever decided to change that label. I don't see that happening.
Yeah, I think the one that could change, and I think it probably will, because he will be coming to the MCU soon. He will be in the movies, is the Gambit one. I think that there could be, both books are attainable as well. So you're not talking about having the X-Men 266 go from being, I think it goes for like $400 now. But you're
yeah.
a book that's $400, not $4,000 or $5,000, right? So even if you made the switch and said, hey, you know what, guys, it's actually X-Men Annual 14. It's not like people are gonna be losing their house or like a big investment, right?
I saw someone actually selling it yesterday or today, a 9.6 for like 330 Canadian. So
I can't wait to sell. I'm gonna sell mine because I believe in the annual. I'm gonna sell mine, but I'm obviously waiting for the movie. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with what I spent and what it's gonna go for sure. Yeah. All right, Face. What's the next book, brother?
All right, so I actually saw somebody mention this in chat just a little bit ago, so I figured I'd go ahead and get it out of the way because it was on my list also. Omega Men #3, the first appearance of Lobo. You know, he's just one of those characters, like, there's not really, I mean, I guess there's nothing definitive set in stone for him as far as, like, a TV series or a movie or anything like that, but I could definitely see DC doing something with him along those lines. He's a character that, you know, kind of translates over into, like, that, would sort of fill the niche that Marvel has with Deadpool and the R rating. Like, they could definitely use Lobo as that type of character. HBO Max is the perfect type of channel to have a series that would, you know, kind of pander to a more adult audience that they could use him in. I mean, he's a fun character. Like, so if they cast him right, you know, there'd definitely be a lot of a lot of good stuff that they could do with Lobo. And a lot of his comics are just fun to read in general if you haven't read them. So
Lobo has shown up already, right? And I think that's
in a sci-fi
sci-fi thing, right? And I think that's
really?
How'd
that go?
Not so well.
No, that didn't really have much fun.
It went so well that we're trying to jog it in our memories.
Yeah, right. Facebook. I won't lie, that Lobo book is a reminder to me like the Dark Hawk is. It's a book that, you know, you see it everywhere, you see it a lot. There's a lot of copies. The price goes up and down, and then all of a sudden now, like, you know, you see it in Dark Knight or Dark Hawk. It's gone up. I think that's going to be one of those books that a lot of people are going to be like, fuck, I saw the Lobo one for like $100, $150, and now it's like $300, $400. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's going to happen to that book. Just because
because that's the other thing with Lobo is that it's still pretty underpriced, even for what it is.
Yeah,
absolutely. The comic assassin Lobo was even one of Stan Lee's favorite characters.
What? I didn't know that.
Yeah,
I didn't.
You know what? I was never a big Lobo fan.
Yeah.
But I read that. I had to read that DC Death Metal, and it was a good tie-in, man. That was good. I liked it.
Yeah, what is it called? Infinite Max or something?
Or Extreme something. Yeah, Triple X. It was good.
I don't know. They killed it with the Frazetta Batman. So
I'm bringing
the Batman Man.
What?
That works.
It's too. It's a Lobo version of Batman. It was, or whatever his name was. It was cool.
Okay. I'll just bring this question up here. Chad RCG. My big question is, why is Venom's first appearance 300 and not Eddie Brock's first appearance? Eddie Brock's first appearance is Web of Spider-Man.
No. It's ASM 298 or 99.
Was it his hand? Eddie Brock's hand?
Right.
Yeah, isn't the argument that it's that Web of Spider? It's that yellow cover where it's like, "Where is Spider-Man?" or something like that.
It wouldn't really be either, because technically the shit is two separate characters anyway. Eddie Brock is his own fucking thing, and Venom is an alien symbiote that would be its own entity, so it has its own first appearance too.
Yeah,
it's true.
But you just get into the technicalities with comics, you know, whenever they want to call it Venom. So, okay, I guess it's the first time that they've merged together, and then you can argue that shit out.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with, I guess, Cletus Cassidy and Carnage.
Cassidy, exactly.
Like, you could get that for $30-$40, whereas
$344.
The book that I was thinking of was, so I just got the citation. I got the citation here, actually. and it's Web of Spider-Man 18, and the description on it is the first cameo appearance of Eddie Brock, hands only, pushing Peter into the path of an ongoing train. So yeah, Keys, that's what you had mentioned. But yeah, so that would put Eddie Brock's first as what book did you say? 299 paper?
299, but I think I'm thinking more of probably his cameo as Venom.
Yeah, because I think 298 is also. That was 289. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, you could do this. You could say the same thing with the Cassidy one and Carnage.
And also more recently, a Silk, ASM 1 versus ASM 4.
Yeah. Well.
Yeah.
I think the argument there for like a lot of collectors, more investors, I would say, not collectors, is what is the character. What are they known for, like the name-wise? Like, what do they go for? So I think that's why that the first Silk is more than that. What is it? Amazing Spider-Man #1?
Yeah, Cindy Moon.
Yeah. Like, I don't think that's a book. I mean, I wouldn't put all my marbles in that one if Silk does show up, kind of thing. You know what I mean? His hand? What the fuck?
Yo, I saw something really weird today that I was looking at, and it just occurred to me on a certain comic book app that everybody uses. I was looking through some different keys and everything, and I came across a notation on a book. I want to say it was like Amazing Spider-Man 4 or something like that. It was real early Amazing Spider-Man. And apparently there's been a retconned first cameo of Jessica Jones in like Amazing Spider-Man 4 or some shit.
Really?
What?
Yeah. Yeah, they have it notated as a retconned first cameo of Jessica Jones. How the hell does that even work?
Wait, when you said ASM 4, you're not talking about the early ASM, right?
Yeah, no, I am talking about the early ASM. The very first one.
Oh, snap. Okay, I didn't even realize.
40 years before Jessica Jones was ever even a thing, or 50 years or whatever, somehow there's a first retcon cameo.
Because, wait, her first appearance was what? In her actual self-titled series, right?
Yeah, Alias 1.
Yeah.
Was the first appearance.
That's weird. Could it be a mistake? Dare I say it could be a mistake?
You know what? Let me read my copy that I have. 1 sec.
I'll get it later, and I'm gonna actually post it. Also, IG and stuff.
Oh man, give us another book, brother.
All right, man. So kind of like what FaceTime was saying, there's no plans for him in like any movies, and whatnot. But I love the character, and he's one of those characters you could really stand behind because he's kind of got a tragic upbringing, and that's Gore the God Butcher, man. I mean, we could totally see him on different planet. I mean, he is from a different planet. We could totally see him bashing heads with Thor, obviously, just wrecking planets, the gods, other planets and whatnot.
You know what's
totally
funny?
Usable.
You each picked a character that I was thinking of. I was this close to picking with Gore the God Butcher too. So it's
but that's still an affordable book because you're looking at $100. It's somewhere around there.
Yeah. Most definitely.
I think Comic Night is actually got one for his claim sale tomorrow.
Actually?
Yeah. I think he's in the chat. He could confirm, but I think he has one.
He had one. Maybe backstage. Buddy.
Oh, and I think the 96 somewhere around there. Yeah.
Yeah, that was Thor God of Thunder 2, I believe.
2, yeah.
2. Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. That's another book I kind of missed out on. But yeah, it is a good book.
That's another book. I mean, I hate to keep dropping how I'm getting all these steals, but
I gotta go to Montreal, man. Huh.
No. Honestly, this is just pure dumb luck on my part. Like 2 years ago, when I got back into collecting, I hit up a guy on Kijiji. Kijiji is like your version of Craigslist.
Yeah. Well, for the Americans.
Yeah, Americans, buddy. Come on.
He sold me the first 11 issues of Thor: God of Thunder for $15.
Damn.
And that has, if you remember, Thor: God of Thunder, God of Thunder. Number 6 is also a pretty big issue. Apparently, they call that the first null appearance. I think also.
Right.
$15.
$15 for the whole set.
Canadian.
Well, mind you, this is before Donny Cates' Venom run, and yeah, Canadian.
Oh, okay. Okay, but
Yeah, but
still,
I think even back then that book had
even
some
back,
pretty good value on it.
Did it?
yeah.
Because I thought it was only after Donny Cates' Venom run that those.
Nah, man, you had that All Black, and we knew that something was up with All Black. We had, man, there was
Yeah,
a
no,
lot.
it blew up after Donny Cates' Venom run, but even before then, it still had value.
Mm.
Yeah, you got a deal on that.
You hear stories like this. Like the one that comes to mind just most recently is that video face that Mint Hunter put up about that farm sale that he was passing by or whatever.
Yes, that was a scary story.
He sold the guy selling it was basically saying that his father passed away, and his father was obviously old because this guy was like a middle-aged man. His father had these comics in a safe, early Spider-Man, and they were, I think, 50 issues, I think, and the guy gave him like $300 or something for it. And then when a gentleman that FaceTime talks to a lot came, asked him about comic books, and the guy told him, he's like, "Oh, I just sold like the first 50 issues of Spider-Man for like $300, and it was a deal because the cover says like 12 cents and 10 cents and all this stuff." And like, yeah, he did a video about it, so yeah, definitely check it out. But man, it's crazy how you hear these stories about how some people come to these collections or these sellers that don't necessarily know what they have.
But I think it's important to share that, because I think it kind of lets people know that deals are out there if you kind of look for them.
That's true. Speaking of deals, yo, do you want to make it quick, like $20, bro?
Who?
I'll give you 35. I'll give you 35 for it, Hyper. You walk out with $20. I'll walk out with a few bucks. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man,
it was worth a shot, boys.
You know what? 2 years ago, I probably would have jumped on that deal because I was still new to the whole comic game, so I kind of read up a bit. So
$20 in a June chicken.
That book goes for what right now?
We'll talk.
I think I've seen it for 100, 120, somewhere around there.
Which book?
Yeah, man.
That God of Thunder.
Yeah.
That's the Canadian, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
or the God Butcher.
If you believe in it, I mean, it's not a bad price. I mean, let's face it. If you want a big, like a decent book, you're probably getting into 3 digits. You know, you're probably going to be in that $100 to $200 range. That's just a fact, right?
Yeah.
So, all right.
Sure. Yo, Face, you were saying?
Yeah. Oh, so actually, I wanted to address something that Comic Talk Weekly was saying in chat about that thing with Jessica Jones. Yeah, as far as I know, everything occurred in Alias and, you know, the Jessica Jones series and Amazing Spider-Man in the appearances after she was actually a character in Alias. I'm not sure why or how that notation ever came up here, but I checked and it's on Amazing Spider-Man 4, the original run from like 1963 or whatever. There's a notation on there on that app that says it's a retcon first appearance of Jessica Jones, and I have no idea why. I've never even heard anything about that before.
Yeah, that's almost like a 40-year gap.
Yeah, it's really weird.
Hold up.
Yeah, look at that citation. This is an interesting question because this was a book that really blew off. In June, I believe it was late May, June, somewhere around there. This book was on fire.
Right. Yeah, it was.
Me and Keith came across 2 actually in the wild, but I refused to pay $90 for this book raw. It was probably an 8.5, somewhere around there. And the guy specifically told me, he's like, "Oh no, this is a big book because it's the new Black Widow, so yeah, it's going to be that price." And I was like, "You're out of your mind if you think anyone's paying, this price on this book." So I walked away from there without it. To my knowledge, Keys, I think that gentleman still has it for sale.
I should ask when I see him.
Yeah, I don't think he sold it. But again, she's coming, but how long is the character going to be around, right? That's the only
I hate to drop another steal deal on this book that I just got.
God damn it.
I'm sorry. I think a few weeks ago on my LCS's Facebook Live claim, I claimed the whole 12-issue Inhuman set for $85.
Nice.
And you could literally sell that book for, oh man.
Yeah.
Again, when that Black Widow movie comes out, yeah,
I'm moving.
You're probably going to be able to get your money back just on that book alone. Probably the best time. The only thing I'm weary about is the longevity of that character.
Well, the thing is, okay, this is where I think, like, to your point about the longevity character, we know that the Scarlett Johansson's character is you know, we know what happened to her in Endgame. So and I think there is a longer future plan for Yelena Belova. I think that's her name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I don't know how long, you know, her tenure is going to be in the MCU. But I would at least see at least 2-3 movies with her.
Not so long.
Yeah, I could definitely see them adding her in to fill Scarlett Johansson's role on the Avengers team.
Well, they're gonna have to have a female, right? Like that's just, you know, obvious. They're gonna have to have a female. They're gonna have to have a human.
Well, they'll have plenty of females for sure.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what do you have? You got Captain Marvel. I don't think Wasp is gonna, like, after Ant-Man 3. I think that's gonna be it. Personally, I don't think.
You never know. They might keep her around. They can bring. I mean, you know, you still got Scarlet Witch is there too.
Yeah, Scarlet Witch. Yeah,
Shuri may take over as Black Panther.
I could see that.
Yeah. See She-Hulk coming in.
Yeah, that Shuri thing. I mean, that I think a lot of people, excuse me, they're not even to this day, right? Like, I know the passing was, you know, a few months ago, and a lot of people haven't really been touching the Black Panther talk. But yeah, even that book, that Shuri book, it's like, man, it's almost like
it's shooting the movie early 2021. They're starting production, something like that. I just read on the news the other day.
It's going to be interesting when they announce what exactly they're doing as far as the lead role.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so
we're going to see some books spike overnight. Just wait.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people are focusing on that Shuri side where, what if, again, this is a big what if, and I know it's been talked about because I've seen other people talk about it. I've actually heard some discussions about people talking about it. We've actually talked about it. But what if they go the Michael B. Jordan route and bring him back as the Black Panther? They kind of do something. That would only bring up that Jungle Action 6. I think that's the book he shows up in. That would only drive that book up crazy. Where it's already, I think it's a $600 book right now.
I don't know the price.
But you know what? I like your idea because I think the issue right now is people are worried that anyone that they cast as the next Black Panther, the fans are going to resent him because it's not Chadwick Boseman. Whereas you have Michael B. Jordan, he was already in that universe to begin with, and he kind of had that shared screen space with Chadwick, so it's almost like a spiritual successor to Chadwick. So
I mean, they're really realistically, from the perspective of how fans are most likely going to look at it, Marvel really only has two options, and that's Michael B. Jordan or Shuri. Anything else, and you're going to have a large portion of fans flipping shit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Speaking of Black Panther 2, that Fantastic Four 52, that one in lower grade is kind of at a standstill. Like, it's not really seeing a rise or a low. Like, I think you can get a 3.0 for $650.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
So, I mean, if that's your character and if that's something that, you know, if they were to hit on, say, the next thing where they either, you know, use Shuri or they use Michael B. Jordan's character, I think it will rise the price. But again, that's been at a standstill. I had a 3.0 and I sold it 3 years ago, and I only got I think it was $350 on it. So it almost doubled in 3 years' time, right? So
that's like one of those books that it's gonna have those waves, and once production starts again, you're gonna see that book climb back up. So right now it's at a standstill because no one's really talking about it much. I mean, it had that spike when, unfortunately, you know, when Boseman passed away, but then now, you know, it's been a few months now, so now things are kind of settling down. So I mean, that's kind of how it is. People have short attention spans, and they're on to the next one.
Yeah, especially now with COVID, right? With this whole year where a lot of people are just at home and you're seeing that jump with a lot of books that not necessarily mean something. It's just, you know, oh, it's Black Panther or Miles Morales is on the cover, and then they're spending, you know, almost $200 on a book, right? So before I go into my book, I just want to bring up, he said, what did we think about it? And now he's saying that he bought Inhumans 5 CGC 9.6.
I don't know if it's so much a good deal. I think he pretty much paid around fair market value for it. I don't think he took an L, but I don't think he exactly got a steal either.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I mean, that's probably about the going price for it. And it'll probably see some rises once the Black Widow movie comes out.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean,
it's one of those that's been quiet. Not a lot of people are talking about it. So what happens? It dips. It falls into that crack where we don't talk about it. And, you know, the real winners will be when another trailer comes out or the movie comes out. That's the next one. So obviously that's a book that you should be having your eye on because it's the next Marvel movie that's coming out. So absolutely. This might shock all of you, including the chat, if you guys follow me. Okay. You guys know I'm predominantly Marvel. I don't have any problems with DC. I follow DC. It's just not my forte.
Cup of tea.
Not my cup of tea, not my forte, not any of that. But there is one book in particular that I always have my eye on. And Face, you've heard me say this. I don't know if Hype has heard me say this. I know I know Keys has heard me say this. But once this whole Harley Quinn stuff is not marketable, okay, that's what's driving this marketability. Because you look at the Birds of Prey movie, you look at where the character is going. Now she's coming with another Suicide Squad. She probably will show up again in, say, some Batman movie. Obviously, we're talking about Harley Quinn. But I think we're coming to the end of her being kind of the focal point, the Cinderella, if you will, to this whole thing. I think the milking cow is, you know, kind of leaving. What does that mean? Well, DC actually has a lot of great villains in the back of their pocket that they haven't used, or they did use, but it was horrible. Once Harley Quinn's done, I think the next one up is probably Poison Ivy. And I think that they could market crazy because you're going to have every girl, every mom, everyone dressed up for Halloween.
But we don't want to. Somehow, probably not.
Right? You're going to see all the toys, all of that stuff, and it's going to be something that they can carry on. So that Batman, what is it? Batman 121? No, Batman 181. That's a book I would probably be on the lookout for. You can find a low grade for $250, somewhere around there. But it's the same thing with that Harley Quinn book when it first came out, right? That Batman Adventures. It was kind of near the same price. And then when she showed up, it was like a $2,000 book. It was the hottest comic for 6 months, I think, in a row at #1 on like every poll to have this, that. Like, I just think it's bound to happen. So you might want to buy it now, where again it's in that $200 to $300 range. You're probably going to find it low grade. Again, you know, you're going to run into the people that say, you know, low grade is better than no grade, and in that sense, with that character, I think you're probably going to pan out with, you know, as a winner. You're going to get that W if you buy this book.
And the thing is, for that book, people should also know that if you're gonna buy it raw, make sure that that poster is intact, because there is a poster that comes with that book or some kind of insert. Because sometimes that gets removed, and if you send that to CGC, it might come out as incomplete. So,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, there's an actual insert in that issue.
Yep. There's a few books you have to be on the lookout for, like say a poster, a tattoo, a stamp, like.
Yeah, that's what Hawaiian Punch is.
Yeah, like make sure if you're spending, you know, like good money on a book, you do your research and find out if, you know, it's one of those books.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because
on my next round, I got a book for you that you're gonna love. So I hope you can stay around for one more.
I was gonna say, I was different soon, but all right.
All right. It's your turn anyway, so yeah, just give us a book, brother.
Whose turn?
Oh,
Keys.
This may be my exit, so I have to make it grand, right? You know what I'm saying? And I got to go with, because you brought up DC, Birds of Prey, Volume 1, Issue 37. And everyone's scratching their heads. Why? How? What? Condiment King. That's all I got to say. Man. Once this joke hits the big screen, I'm going to be the last one laughing. I'm like, I told you.
Wait, you were actually serious?
Oh, I'm serious, yo. Super affordable. Huge return possibilities. Yeah. How you like me now?
I like it.
Thank you, Face.
I mean,
I'm just gonna say it. Hyper, what's your next? What's your next book, man?
You ever been to a cookout with no sauces and no condiments? I thought not.
I honestly don't know how to top that.
Yes.
There is no topping that, because it is the topping.
It's the topping.
Oh, thank you, Face. This is why I have you guys on my show. This is it.
Oh my god. Okay.
All right, or you can just pick up Amazing Spider-Man 471. First appearance is Moreland and Ezekiel. Like I said before, this is someone that hunts down the spider totems. It's a super affordable book. You can find it at your local store. And someone that comes in and hunts down the spider totems, realistically, the way that Into the Spider-Verse went, the first one, I could see this character being pulled in to be used in a second or a third for sure. You need something to unite all the spider totems, identities, spider identities.
You found that book in that dollar bin too, right?
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I found it for steal.
Found it pretty cheap. Yeah,
I did. I sniped these.
All right. Okay. Well, hey, I hope you can stay at least until this next book that I got, because I think you'll really enjoy it. So, Hyper, what's the next book, brother?
All right. So, I'm gonna go with and Face, I believe, mentioned this 2 weeks ago in the live chat. TMNT, the current run. Specifically, the direction they're heading in right now. At post issue 100, because again, I'm gonna talk spoiler, but this issue already came out like a year ago. Issue 100. Master Splinter dies. And the thing is, unlike Marvel and DC, these deaths I feel stick because they don't have like an out. They don't have like a Lazarus Pit or another 616 and multiverse TMNT universe. The deaths that happen are pretty much permanent. The only way I could see it being reversed is if they do a complete reboot of the series. So having said that,
hold on, before you go too far with that, just remember they do have fucking time traveler Lita now. So.
Oh snap! Okay. But the thing is, time traveling Lita, she was going more to the future. She didn't really dip into the past now, did she?
We don't know yet. Maybe she got Master Splinter in her pocket before he mutated.
But the thing is, okay, this is why I think they have to keep Splinter dead, just because of the direction they're going with. Because right now, what's happening in the TMNT series is they're forming their new Splinter clan. So it's almost like the four Turtles and Jennika are kind of taking on the role of Splinter, and they're kind of they're mentoring the next generation of fighters. So the character that Face brought up, Lita, the albino turtle, she shows up in issue 101. And if you look at the solicits for TMNT 113, she's on the cover as the adult version, because she does the whole time traveling thing. And then alongside her, there's three other characters, the Weasels, that show up in issue 102. So, and the thing is, people are buying more issue 101, and they're kind of sleeping on issue 102 because it's a turtle. But I would say grab issue 101 and issue 102 because it seems like there seems to be a bigger plan in play for TMNT, especially also with Nickelodeon possibly, I think, greenlighting a new TV series that I think Seth Rogen might be possibly interested in developing.
What would you cap that book at? Say, if you're getting into it right now, what would you cap that book at getting it? Because obviously,
so the thing is, the book that if you can afford it, I would actually get the 1 in 10 variant for issue 101 because that's actually her first cover appearance also. The only thing though is I saw a 9.8 selling for like around $300-400.
Yeah, even the raw I think on that is going almost $100, and that's a 1 in 10.
Last year, that book was around a $10-20 book.
Wait. That's the 1 in 10 variant we're talking about?
Yeah, the 1 in 10 on that is going like for $100 or something like that.
What's the regular?
There's actually a few of those on that Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle series where the 1 in 10 is pretty pricey.
Yeah.
The 10, I know the 101 issue, the 1 in 10 is pretty pricey, and
105.
I think it was 104 or 105. Yeah, that potential Last Ronin cover or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, so there's a few of them. This whole run from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles has been putting out some potential future keys.
Mm-hmm.
And
like
it's like Face has said, you know, I think he says it every week because I have a question that I always ask him about Ninja Turtle. But Ninja Turtles, man, it is so hot. Like, it is so freaking hot that, yeah, you don't maybe want to miss out on a key, especially at a good price now in the future. Because obviously, if it's hot right now, you know, you could see more properties being built with it, movies, shows, things like that. So you never kind of want to miss out on something like that. So.
But to answer your question, the raw copy of issue 101, the regular, I think that's about a $20-30 book. So it's still affordable if you don't want to go on the 1 in 10 route.
I was expecting more, to be honest with you.
I mean, I picked it up for like $7, so I'm cool.
Yeah, but the only problem is that's an all black cover. So it's hard to get.
Be all over this.
Sorry?
I should be all over this. That's kind of like my forte. Black and white cover.
I think I actually have it pulled up.
And orange now.
Oh, then you're gonna love that Something Is Killing the Children 10-second print, huh?
Yeah, I don't know about it.
Okay, I can't seem to find it, but yeah. But this is 102. This is the one with the 3 weasels. That's another one that you guys might want to look out for.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Noted.
102. And the other one is 105. This is the one where she's actually an adult.
Yeah, I've seen this one. Yeah, that's the 102 that you were talking about, right? Was that one that you just?
And that's 101.
Yeah. They speaking of turtles, they at the store that I went to today, they had the first Raphael one, the first appearance of Casey Jones.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about this one.
Oh no, not that one. And they were asking $750 for it.
Mm.
And I was like, whoa.
Can you pick that up for me?
Is that cheap? $750 Canadian?
But
sure, I'll take it.
But this Raphael, you might also want to be on the lookout for because it's the first appearance of the fox named Alopex.
Right.
She's actually Raphael's love interest in the series.
That's his boo.
Wait. Did you say Halifax? Like the city?
No, her name is like Alopex.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Halifax. I'm like, wait, what? Okay.
She's like a white fox, and she's like in a relationship with Raphael right now. And so that's it.
It makes perfect sense if you don't think about it too much.
Yeah.
All right, Face, what do you got for us? Give us a book.
All right, so actually, I'm going to give you a group of 3 books that I want to mention. They're actually all moderns and really new. I just don't think that it's very likely we're going to see them at much lower prices in the future. So I feel like they're good ones to add on the list. Department of Truth #1, Something Is Killing the Children #1, and Ice Cream Man #1. All 3 of those books, have come out within the last, year or two, and all 3 of them are ridiculously hot series that are likely to see some expanded media coverage. But even if they don't, I mean, the series themselves are so good that the values on these books are already shooting through the roof, and they're probably just going to continue to go up.
Yeah, that's actually you can't go wrong. If anybody argues that, I think they're wrong, and I would probably not argue back because you are absolutely 100% correct on all of those.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, I don't think you're gonna find them at lower prices in the future than what they're at now. So
Yeah.
Especially because Ice Cream Man had a low print run.
Yeah. Yeah. And the good thing too with Department of Truth is that they're only on number 3, right? So it's early. So if you're not really on it and you miss 1 or 2, well, guess what? You're it's early to get it, so might as well. Yeah, you can't go wrong with those at all. I think it's just a matter of time before something that's killing the children shows up on something. To be honest with you, again, that markability too. So.
And it's a good read. I mean, it's one of those because you read certain series and they might have like a setup issue here and there, but I've read the first 11. I haven't read the latest issue, but every issue's been pretty much nonstop.
Yeah. This one, Comics Talk.
Yeah, definitely.
I 100% agree with you. It's just I think that book is moving into that territory of that $300 range. Canadian prices are Canadian, but I think it's kind of getting into that range where it's almost getting to be like, okay, well, you kind of start thinking, okay, do I go this route or do I go silver or a nice bronze kind of thing? You know what I mean? So, yeah. Strange Academy has been crazy out the door. Yeah, 100%. So I'll go into my book.
Yeah, Strange Academy is another one that's going to be huge.
Yeah, oh yeah. I'm just going to go to my book so I can get Keys out of here. I feel like I'm holding him up, but I knew that he would appreciate this book. I really did. I knew about this book a long time ago, but he was the one that he did say, and I quote, man, just be careful with this book. I think there's going to be something. I've been watching it grow in price for 3 months now.
I said this.
Yeah. And that is Amazing Spider-Man 238.
I did say that.
That is the first appearance of Hobgoblin Roderick Kingsley. Yeah, that book, if you look, man, it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So I don't know if it's a bad idea. Again, another book that's in that $200 to $300 range, depending on what grade you get it. But I don't know if it's a bad idea not to pick it up right now. Like I don't. You look at what the market says and how the book has grown. It's just tough to disagree with not picking it up right now.
And I mean, weren't they even having some talks about Ned from?
Yeah, see, and that's the thing with that one is because it's such a weird spec on it because of the whole Ned Leeds in the Spider-Man movie, potentially taking the Hobgoblin role, but it's Roderick Kingsley in the comics, so.
Yeah, and with that, I would also say if you could find the first battle between Spider-Man and Hobgoblin, because let's face it, not only do first appearances, but first events, first battles. They matter too. So if you're looking on that investment side of things, that's not a bad book to get either. It's obviously on the cheaper end. You're not going to find that book for $300, but that's a good book to get because it is the first battle between Spider-Man and Hobgoblin. But that book, I've seen it grow. I remember when that book was $70 on a wall.
How much?
$70.
Okay.
Maybe 2 years ago. And now it's getting to that $200 to $300. You know what I mean? So it is a book that if you are looking and you look at the prices, it's only growing. There is that Ned kind of rumor, but even before that, it was still growing. So I don't think that that's a bad book to invest in at all.
And make sure you get
not.
tattoos inside.
Which one? Sorry.
Make sure the tattoos are inside the book.
Yeah, the tattoo. Yeah, that's again, what I brought up earlier, right? You got to make sure you do your research and you do the tattoos. Now, with that said, on a CGC notation, will it tell you if it has the tattoos or not?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
It will. Because if it doesn't have the tattoos, I don't know if it gets a green label or if they notate it, but it definitely is labeled if the tattoos are missing.
Yeah, I think it's just notated anymore. I could be wrong though.
Okay, so it doesn't get a green label then.
Yeah, I don't know.
I could be wrong, but I think.
I haven't seen many green labels with that book, and
I've seen
can't
a few.
imagine that all the books, you know, even the low grade ones that are graded, have that. So I think that it might just, you know, they might just let it slide.
No, it's looking on the market right now. It's looking like green and blue.
Yeah, that's one of those books. I wouldn't even try and buy that shit ungraded, probably.
Yeah.
That's why the actor is losing weight. Whoa, okay. But there's also what's the first appearance of Ned Leeds? It's an early Spider-Man 2. That one jumped up in price as well. So yeah, but I don't know. I would kind of lean more towards that 280, 238 one over that Ned Leeds one for sure. In my opinion, I don't know. Because that one is early Spider-Man, so. But Keys, thank you so much for staying for that pick, man. I really wanted you to be here for that pick. I know you got to work early, so
yeah, man.
Thank you. Thank you again for joining. If you guys don't already follow Keys on Instagram or on his channel, he did drop a video today. He was unboxing some books, so make sure you guys go check him out. Go check his channel out for sure.
Have a giveaway. I'll drop the link in the chat. By all means, check out the giveaway. Get free couple books, you know.
Yeah,
and I'm out, boys. Hi, thanks for having me, buddy.
If you're looking for
guys,
you have to look for another channel.
Yo.
Oh,
Sleepless
man.
only.
Take care, Keith.
Have a nice night, boys. Thanks, everyone. See you, chat.
Man, I always applaud him because he's got to wake up at like 4 a.m. to go to work. So I always applaud him when he tries to join.
Right.
I've kind of, you know, in the past we kind of did like 6:30, 7 p.m. shows, and I can't do those anymore. So like in the summer we were doing them, and now it's like, you know, they're 8:30 or 9, and he's obviously, you know, I'm not going to ruin his sleep. So I always appreciate when he drops by and gives us some knowledge.
He at least was able to hang back for a bit. Yeah,
for sure. I mean, you could see him kind of yawning. He always does that. Hey, it is what it is. Yeah. All right. Well, let's say we throw one book each, and then we finish off.
All right.
So Hyper. No, Face.
I think it's Face.
Face. Give us your last book, brother.
Okay, I'm not going to give you one more book. I'm going to give you another group of books.
Nice.
But there is one that stands out in this group. But this particular group is something that is coming back to life, and I think you're definitely going to see more activity with one of them, and probably at least 3 of them. The 4, you'll see some increased activity. Now, where that potential will go, I'm not sure yet, but and that's going to be Static Shock #1. You know, obviously, Hardware #1, Icon #1, and Blood Syndicate #1. Those were the 4 main groups that came out in the Milestone universe back when DC did that in like I think the 90s.
I believe it was early 90s, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, all 4 of those are pretty solid picks because you know they're going to see some attention with the new series that DC is going to be doing and bringing back the Milestone universe, and Static's definitely ripe for TV or movies. And I think there's a lot of anticipation to see him take that transition.
For sure. And I mean, don't they already have like Michael B. Jordan attached to that project anyways?
I think he does have some interest in it, I believe.
Okay, so nothing's really been confirmed on his end.
Yeah, I don't know if it's I don't know if there's anything been confirmed for certain, but I know there's been some talk, and you know, like I think they're definitely gonna end up. I can't see him playing that role, but I could definitely see him attached as producer for sure.
No. Yeah, the news I heard wasn't so much him taking an acting role, but more, like you said, more on that backstage producing kind of gig.
Right.
And actually, I mean, you also mentioned to me, actually, I think this past FOC or New Comic Book Day, that the issue that's coming out tomorrow, what is it? The history of...
yeah, the other history of the DC universe.
Exactly. You said that kind of, you think that might actually lead those characters.
Yeah, but I think that looks like that's going to play into it. I think that's actually a Static that we're getting on the cover there. So No, we are definitely not talking about letting Static go. That's a pickup, a keeper for sure.
That definitely is.
And actually, to address two of the things that I saw in chat, Reader Die said a little bit ago about recount might be an interesting option for a series or something like that. And you're definitely right. I mean, I read the first issue and it was pretty good so far. It looks like it's going to be a fun series.
Yeah.
And
Well, I never actually even heard of that, to be honest.
yeah, it's brand new. It just came out last week. The first issue, it came out from Scout Comics.
Is that the one?
It was pretty interesting. Yeah, they're gonna kill everybody apparently that voted for, the whatever the president was in that universe after they took out the president. So it's it seems like it's very like Purge-esque with some politics and just some craziness going on. Okay, and the other comment that I wanted to address was that Akuma was asking about which TMNT 100.
Yeah,
man, really any of them are probably solid pickups, to be honest.
I mean, if you had to pick one that I would say is the sought after, it would be that 1 in 50, because that's the one that I couldn't find in any of my LCSs.
Yeah, and that's gonna be really hard to find, I think.
Yeah, because I think that was the only book that was selling above ratio, because not a lot of stores were ordering 50 copies. So if you could find that 1 in 50 at a good price, definitely hop on that.
Right, but, yeah, for sure.
But like Faye said, any of the 100s I would go for. Even go for any of the ratios, because at this point I think the ratios are even under ratio. Like I'm talking about the 1 in 10s and the 1 in 25s.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
So yeah.
A comment that I wanted to just highlight with Read or Die. Do any of y'all know Walmart variant data? In Canada, we don't get the Walmart variants, so
unfortunately, yeah.
I wouldn't.
I think there's actually been reports that they don't publish that data for some reason.
I think they just show, like, do they come out like normally, like on a Wednesday as well, or is it just like all over the place?
Yeah, as far as I know, they come out on whatever day that Marvel or Walmart receives their, their shipments for the area that they put them out in. Now, I don't know if that varies by store or not, but yeah, it was actually I read an article somewhere that said that they actually do not release that the sales data on those. I'm not sure if that's accurate or not, but I haven't come across any of the data on it that I've seen.
A lot of people, because I'm so close to the border here, to the U.S., a lot of Canadian guys are wanting and are paying way too much for Walmart variants. I'm seeing right now, which is ridiculous. But hey, if that's what they want to do, good to them. But yeah, I mean, if the borders were open and I could pick them up for cover price or whatever, 100%.
Yeah.
But
how much?
Like $100 for these things, like no.
How much does that pack sell for though, Face?
Like $10 or something like that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, all right.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Well, my final book is a heavy hitter.
Okay.
I mean, I don't try to screw anybody, like books I preach about, books I talk about, they're usually books that I'm looking for, I've bought, I am going to buy, I have them on my watch list, things like that. So for me, I always preach what I buy. Like Hyper said, I put my money where my mouth is, kind of thing. I would never talk about a book unless I believed in it. And if I don't believe in it, you guys have heard me say, hey, you know what? It's my opinion. I don't believe in this book. But I also believe in heroes over villains. But for this one, I think it's just too difficult to pass up. If you can afford it, I think it's very difficult to pass up. But it's Amazing Spider-Man Annual #1. That is $1,400 to $3,000 book.
Yeah,
you can get them, if you can get them on the lower end, a $1,200. I think there's a $900 one on eBay right now. Actually, I think it's a 1.0, something like that. But this is the first appearance of Sinister Six, I think, and I've thought for a long time this is something that I'm building up for. It's a crazy book to have on your wall, in your PC. Like you don't see this book. Like you might see it in cons, like 1 or 2. You don't see this book a lot.
I would have to find the copy of that book that somebody wiped their ass with, because that's probably the only way I'm ever affording it.
Oh my God. Yeah. That's crazy.
I mean, that thing, yeah, that thing's like a fortune.
But I think once it drops, because like you Face, I know we've talked about it, where like I don't think Mysterio's dead. I think they're building up for it right now. That book has been at a standstill. If you were to invest in the book, yeah, $1,200 is a lot of money for a book. If you can afford it, I would say grab it, because I'm pretty sure you're probably going to at least come out of it with like $300 to $400 in profit. To be honest with you, it's something that's going to hit. It's, you know, you see the success of like Civil War, you see the success of like Endgame, like with multiple and various characters. So I think they could pull it off.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think they're gonna try and do the Sinister Six, to be honest. And Mysterio's perfect for it, because you know they can kill him off every other fucking movie and it doesn't matter, because he can always come back, because it was just an illusion. You know? Like they didn't really see him die. It was just what he wanted them to see, you know, or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean,
I think Mysterio is entirely viable. You know, they're gonna probably there's a lot of talk about him bringing in Kraven.
Yeah.
And
I was going to talk about that book, but even that one's getting into that $2,000 range. So at that point, it's like, you know, I'm only talking to a niche market at that point. Like, how much more can that book go up? You know what I mean? Like, how much longevity can Kraven have, sort of thing. So I always try to not give people bad advice. You know, like if some people, like Face, you're perfect for this. Your guys are villains mostly. You know, Joe, Carnage, Galactus, those are your guys. So who am I to sit up here and say, you know, always get heroes before villains. Villains don't hold money. Villains hold money. It's just,
yeah, some villains do. Heroes hold money better, definitely.
Yeah, right. So
that's
a long shot. Kind of like a little skeptical on this one, even myself. If I had that money, if I had that cash flow to pick up that book, I probably would, because I think I would be. I'm 95% sure I'm going to get profit on my investment for sure on that book.
I mean, the thing is, and I think we touched on this a few days ago, I think it's what tier of villain we're talking about. Like, if you're talking about like a villain that's like an Omega Red level, I mean, I don't think that has much staying power, as much as people like to believe he does. But then you get into that other tier where like some of the guys from the Sinister Six, you know, Thanos, Galactus, Magneto, those are kind of like the villains that have that longevity.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, okay, so you know, like one of the best examples of like the fucking retarded situations that you can end up with villains is Black Winter. We were just talking about him earlier. Mm-hmm. And the reason that this character is such a good example of it is because like Donny Cates literally wrote him into the cosmic hierarchy in Marvel, and put him damn near at the top, and then just fucking waxed him in 6 issues. Like, yeah, exactly. You know, that's the dumb shit that can happen with villains, and it doesn't really make sense, because I mean, like, there was a lot of shit that was left out there on the table with it,
which is why I think
questionable. Yeah, which is why it's likely that they'll end up revisiting him. But if they don't, that's what leads to a lot of the problems. You know, you get these villains there, they bring them in, and then they'll tell like half this fucking story. Like, why is Galactus his herald exactly? And how did that all come about? And why did we get this bullshit origin for Galactus, you know, and everything like that? Like, there's a lot of stuff that needs to be answered, that being as its villains, you know, they may never even have to address again. Whereas if it were a hero, you know, that shit would definitely be something that, you know, is going to have to be addressed, because, you know, they're constantly out there.
I know I said that was my last book, actually, and I went really high on it. There is one book that I did forget about, and this is going to be more on the cheaper side, but it's on eBay. You guys can find it right now, but it's Mighty Avengers #1, and that is the first appearance of Spectrum.
Yeah.
That's another book. I mean, if you're looking for a cheaper one, I don't know how crazy the investment would be on there, but if you're looking for a cheap one, I kind of felt bad, you know, throwing my last book and it being like a $1,200 book. But
well, you did say you want to go out with a bang.
Yeah, you know, those are the books that I you know, every book that I talked about today, if I had the cash, I would probably get if I'm already not in the process of getting or have. But yeah, I believe in all the books that I talked about. So hopefully, you guys in the chat have taken a few ideas, because sometimes people don't realize what's going on. Some people have more knowledge than others. So, I like to think that we gave 4 different opinions on a lot of books today, and I hope it helped the chat. I hope it brought some light to a lot of different books and things like that. So hopefully some people make some smart decisions and some investments on some of the books we talked about for sure.
And all right, so I got one book.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'll end off with, since you want to end off with a bang, I'll end off with a bang also.
Oh shit! And he's actually got it off.
I actually got it.
Oh.
Tomb of Dracula number 10.
Oh no, that book's a piece of shit. Throw it in the trash.
Yeah. You know what?
Matter of fact, you don't need that. Go ahead and just send it my way.
Yeah, I'll throw it out for you.
Yeah,
I'll get rid of that for you.
I was gonna say.
Okay, hold on. I gotta ask. Did you get it at a crazy deal though? Like how you get the rest of the books or what?
I actually did it, not at a super steal price, but it was a case where because con season was over, right? So normally we had the Montreal Comic Con, so the organizers that usually run the con, they were doing like a virtual sale where they're doing 25% off wall books and all that. So this one I kind of got 25% off what they were listing it for. So I think for that raw I paid probably around $400, everything included, tax in.
Canadian, right?
Yeah, Canadian. And I think the grade for that, looking at it, is probably like a 4.550 maybe, or 4.0. And last time I checked, I think that's on a CGC scale, it's about a $600-700 book on that grade. So yeah, it's
Okay, so I'm moving to Montreal sometime. I can't believe I'm saying that because clearly the province next to me is getting all these crazy deals. Like this is.
But here's the thing. Okay, but here's why I'm picking Blade as my pick. I mean, we all know that he's coming into the MCU. It's no longer rumor; it's confirmed. He's been announced in
I think they have Jamie Foxx. Didn't Jamie Foxx say he wanted to play it?
No, Mahershala Ali.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that's actually my next point, because how we mentioned how for Moon Knight they didn't just hire some chump off the street, they hired Oscar Isaac. Well, actually not even, that's still a rumor, but I mean he's kind of heavily attached to it. In this case, Mahershala Ali is confirmed to play Blade, and we all know he's an Academy Award winning actor. They wouldn't bring someone of that caliber unless they have big plans for this character. And now, I'm not sure if he's having... Faye, do you know if he's having a TV show or if he's more on the movie side?
I'm pretty sure he's getting full movies.
I think it's movie.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's getting movies.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, the fact that... Okay, because clearly when you have someone of that kind of acting pedigree, they clearly are looking for a character where they're going to do layers of character study, because they're not picking like some run-of-the-mill action star just to, play Blade, like Wesley Snipes or something.
Right.
No shade at Wesley Snipes, but, it is what it is.
I hope the CGC and the acting is better, though, this time around.
I would like to think so. So, I mean, we're 20 years removed from the first one, right? So, but I mean, like, the first Blade movies were more or less a good popcorn flick, nothing more, nothing less. Whereas I feel that this new version of Blade, especially with the actor attached to it, is going to be, I don't want to say deep, but you're going to have a lot more layers to the character than we had before.
Yeah, I think that my guess would be is that they're going to look at digging a lot deeper into the actual horror aspect of Blade's niche market or whatever. And I think Mahershala Ali is going to be a great person to make that portrayal. Yeah,
and the thing is, they actually even said that for Doctor Doom's next movie, they are leaning more into that horror aspect of it, because I think Marvel does want to dive into that realm. So I mean, not to go off of topic, but don't be surprised if you start seeing characters like Mephisto or Blackheart also start coming into the
Right.
MCU. So to kind of play, and who was the one that talked about the Midnight Suns? That was Keys, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, Blade fits perfectly into that universe as well because he was part of the Midnight Suns, the original, I believe. So,
Yeah.
and the thing is, I mean, I know I just told you that the book I paid for was around $300-400, but I mean, I gotta believe that once that trailer or more concrete news comes out, that book is gonna get inflated much higher than it is right now. So even though it's not the cheapest book, I still think there's room to grow for that book once we get more news for that movie.
Yeah. I think so.
Brian Ace does have a good point. However, Halle Berry played Catwoman. Just because he has an Oscar doesn't mean the movie will be any good.
Yeah, but here's the thing, though. You kind of have to also look at the studio behind it.
Yeah.
It's Marvel hasn't really given us a reason for not Marvel, sorry, the MCU and Kevin Feige didn't give us much of a reason yet to doubt them in terms of the properties they put. I mean, obviously,
Captain Marvel.
well, the thing is, see, even Captain Marvel, okay, it might not be on your top tier, but you can't say that it was a stinker either.
No. I mean, I watched it. I stayed for the whole thing. So
yeah, and I mean, and that movie does still have its fan base. So it's not like, I mean, it wasn't my favorite Marvel movie just because of some of the.
I think it's the only Marvel movie I've only seen once.
Yeah, but there was a lot of posturing in that movie that I wasn't too much of a fan of. It felt like they were trying to really push certain messages out there. So,
and as far as the Halle Berry Catwoman movie goes, in relation to that, it wasn't necessarily anything wrong with Halle Berry's portrayal in the fact that other than it was just written like a fucking steaming pile of shit.
Yeah. I mean, exactly. So I mean, the worst that Marvel has given us was maybe Thor: Dark World, I would think.
Yeah, I would say somewhere in the Thor run for sure.
Yeah, but I mean, other than that, I mean, I would say that they have a pretty good batting average in terms of making good movies. So,
you know what?
You're gonna disagree? Let's hear it. Iron
Man 3 was terrible.
And
I'm the Iron Man guy, and I'm saying that.
You know what?
But it's probably not a mistake that they're gonna make again.
So.
I mean, that was just mostly because they trashed the Mandarin, and I don't see them repeating that.
No, I think they've learned their lesson, big time. Actually, that was a book that I was actually going to talk about. Was that Tales of Suspense? I believe it's 50, the Mandarin one. But yeah, they fucked that up.
Yeah. Okay. But put it this way, I think because I've spoken to people that also watched Iron Man 3. Believe it or not, some of them actually. I'm not going to say that they liked it as much as the first two, but they didn't hate it as much as you, because I think also you're looking at it from a much different set of lens because you're that Iron Man fan, right? So now I'm not going to defend Marvel and say that was a great movie, but I don't think it's nearly as bad as critics think it is.
Hey, I've seen Iron Man 3 about 10 times. So obviously it's not that bad, but if I were to pick, I mean, it is historically not one of the greatest. However, I just received something in the mail, actually.
A DVD?
And no, I got all the DVDs. I got all the Iron Man DVDs, but I actually got, you know what? I'll spoil it, but I won't show you. I will post it on I'm going to post it on Instagram, if not later today, tomorrow, because I just got the frame for it. But I got a rare Iron Man 3 movie poster. Super rare.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, but it is the Iron Man 3 one. Like, the guy had a Venom one, early Tobey Maguire, and then the Iron Man 3. And I was like, well, I'm going to take the Iron Man one. Even though it is not my favorite movie, but it's pretty rare.
Yeah.
And it's dope as hell, man. So I'm pretty pumped for it. So I'll post that, but yeah. Because I don't want to come out and be like, oh yeah, that movie was terrible, and then I show up the movie poster. You know what I mean? So
to address Drawing Ace's point about Iron Man 2 was also bad. keep in mind that movie I think was done more so by Paramount Pictures than Disney. So it was actually a different team behind that. Because I think the actual MCU really kicked off. I mean, even Iron Man wasn't really in Kevin Feige's wheelhouse yet.
I don't think even the X-Men ones here that Briggs is talking about, like X-Men, that wasn't Feige. Even
well, no, none of those were. Those were all pre-Disney.
Yeah, like,
really, I think the only Feige Iron Man movie was it actually might be only Iron Man 3. The first two Iron Mans weren't even in. Yeah.
You got to remember, Iron Man 1 was like a total gamble.
Yeah,
like it was like they didn't even know what they had until after the movie. It was like an uproar with like all us fucking Iron Man people. Like I remember 2007, it was like, oh shit, like this is crazy. So, but again, I'm looking at it from like a different lens. You're absolutely right. I'm obviously always gonna probably give and be harder on the Iron Man stuff because of my character. You know, just like if you talk to Facebook Galactus, like he's gonna have a bias and somewhat, like we all do, you know, tunnel vision on certain characters. It's just because those are our characters. That's who we like. So
right.
It's going to happen, right? So it is what it is. I can come to terms, like it's, you know, they're good movies. They're not over the top. They're not crazy. I mean, I feel like they dropped the ball on certain things. And they weren't really given a chance to do Iron Man 4, which I think they wanted to do. I think it was in the wheelhouse, but it just never, you know.
No, I mean, well, especially with current circumstances of Endgame, I don't think you'll see an Iron Man 4 unless you get a reboot.
No.
I was just saying they definitely did Iron Man 4. They just named it Avengers Endgame.
That's true.
Don't be so sure. So sure, because I think we're going to see him throughout. I've talked about it a lot with that infamous Iron Man book, #1. I think we're going to see him throughout. Plus, I know Face knows how much I feel about Riri Williams coming. Like, I think that's gonna happen. So for those guys that think it's not gonna happen, just keep selling your Riri books because I will be glad to take them from you at a cheap price, man.
And actually, I will also cap off with another steal I got for Riri Williams.
Which one?
I got Invincible Iron Man 7, her cameo. I got it for cover price.
Nice.
How?
It's actually a store in Toronto called Silver Snail, and they have like, you know, like certain websites when you go on that people don't know that there's a back issue section, and sometimes the store doesn't even know about it. So like one of those situations where like, oh snap, I saw this issue at cover price. I saw Moon Girl Devil Dinosaur for like $30. So I put these things in my cart, right? And then I checked out, but I don't want a situation where, you know, like how sometimes when you check out of an online cart and then the retailer will be like, oh, sorry, it's out of stock, when they realize what you just, you know, purchased.
Yeah.
So I kind of called the guy and I'm like, hey, so the stuff that's online, if I check out, does it really mean that it's in stock, or is that just, you guys just not update your thing? He's like, well, just tell us what books you're looking for. I'm like, no, you know what, I'll just check out. I was going to start categorizing which books were in my cart, because then he's going to start, you know, catching on. But
right.
Yeah, so that's the thing. I mean, sometimes, like I said, you get lucky. Oh,
so
shoot.
That #7, the first print, because obviously there are multiple prints, so be careful. There also is that argument, excuse me, with that, I think it's cover C, where it's got that like little face and it says like Riri Williams. So, you know,
that's like a later print, I think.
Yeah. I know a lot of people were saying, oh, that's her first cover appearance. I mean, yes and no. The other book, I mean, I could talk about this like all day realistically, but yeah, just be careful you're getting the right print. That one, #7, the first cover, I picked up for $25, like
nice.
3 years ago, 2.5, somewhere around there. Yeah.
I picked mine up like a couple months ago.
So yeah, and that book is just rising. I mean, it's crazy because the 9.8 is going. 9.8s are hitting almost $400.
Yeah, and that's without any concrete news of her even being in the MCU. So,
well,
is there something? I'm not aware of?
Okay, do you remember in Black Panther the first?
Oh shit! Here we go.
Do you remember at the end of that movie, the end credit is excuse me, at the end credit, it's Suri and Chala, and they're back at that apartment building where Chala's dad killed Eric's dad. Remember in the beginning of Black Panther, he goes back and kills his uncle or whatever. Like the dad kills his brother. Okay, at the end of that movie, there's girls playing basketball, and the basketball is shot, and then the ball comes kind of to Suri or Chala, I can't remember, and something happens, and then Suri goes, "Oh, what are you going to build here?" And he says it's going to be a tech school. I can't remember if it says tech school, but it's kind of made that reference to Riri Williams, because that's where Riri Williams is actually found, right? So with all the technology that they do, it's not crazy to think that she doesn't show up. You know, like that's how I took it. I took that hint and those comments as, oh shit, this is gonna happen. So
that's actually not a bad observation, and I mean it makes sense because it's almost like that same kind of breadcrumbs that they left for that Namor, where the grounds are, you know, it's almost like little hints being left.
It's 50-50. It could go either way. You could, bank it, take that information, or you could totally crumble. But I don't think it's a secret that they've said they do want to get that mantle to Riri Williams. They've signed, I always butcher this guy's name, Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle, yeah.
They've signed him for 3 more projects, right? So he's extended into 3 more projects. He's not going to be fighting people. He's not going to be having a solo project. He's going to be a mentor. What does that come with? I think that's kind of, again, he's going to be in that scene. He's probably going to, mentor Riri, kind of things like that. So, yeah, I don't know. And I think it's no secret that if you guys look, actually, because I use my comic shop for a lot of stuff, but even that Invincible Iron Man 1, Riri Williams, or Ironheart, the one, like her solo stuff, that's gone up in price. So
second print also.
Yeah, 9/8 in that are going for, I believe, and again, it's cheap right now, but it's like, I'm gonna say the price right now, and you're gonna be like, oh, that's cheap. It's, I think, around $60 to $70 American. But if you were to buy the book, say 3 months ago, that book was like $15, 9/8.
Wait, are you talking about her Ironheart series that just got?
Yeah,
the one where she's
on the cover, like, no, I think it's the Invincible Iron Man one.
Okay, it's not the one where she's unmasked and she's kind of flying over the water.
No. It's the other one. She's up in the armor, but it's Invincible Iron Man 1. That one. It's crazy, man. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's a secret. I just think, So,
I just gotta give a shout out also to a latecomer, Azores Tiger from Spinetix, that just joined our chat.
Oh, sweet. Hey,
thanks for joining.
All right, Face. Oh, Face already gave his final book. Hyper, you already gave your final book. So yeah. So that's it for our show for today. I really want to thank you guys in the chat. If you guys have other books, or if you guys like what we did, I would love talking investment and specs. So definitely let us know, because I would love to do this again with other books. We could talk about this for fucking ever, man. So I appreciate the chat joining. Hyper, you got some stuff on Instagram.
So like I mentioned a few days ago, I'm currently running a 1,000 follower contest on my IG, which the handle's right there, hyper.combo.comics. So the contest is running till December 5th, and the rules are all there. You just have to follow me and follow another retailer, which I mentioned. His name is King Gaming, who partnered up with me with this contest. So what you're currently going to be winning would be the Venom Beyond story arc, which is basically issues 25 to 30 plus the free comic book day of the current Donny Cates Venom run, as well as the PS4 copy of Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. So the winner will get all that. And I gotta make this clear, just because of what happened to FaceTime. This contest is only open to residents of Canada and the US. in the main coast. So unfortunately, those in Alaska, Hawaii, Puerto Rico, you guys are out of luck. Because shipping is already going to be expensive if I'm going to have to ship it to the States. So.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I don't.
But damn that, I shipped to fucking Australia.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's on you, man. That's on you.
Yeah. Well, it's always nice when international people, technically we're international hyper, right?
Yeah.
But it is kind of cool when we have, everyone from around the globe checking in and tuning in. But definitely go check him out. Go check out the giveaway. I signed up for it because it is a good one. Really solid books and the game. FaceTime, what do you got coming up?
And sorry, Raider Bear. I know he's from Australia.
Yeah, I got a couple different things coming up. I got some videos that I'm gonna drop hopefully over the next couple days. Still working with some internet connection problems to get things uploaded, and I think we're just switching internet companies. I think we finally resolved to just go ahead and get rid of this company and switch over. So
yeah, internet's been weak here too lately, so yeah,
it's been a disaster with them. Like man, I get freezes and uploads and everything else. It's horrible.
But Face, you also post your stuff on Instagram. So if you guys follow Face on Instagram, you'll know when he's dropping his videos and things like that. So please make sure you guys go check it out, go follow Hyper on Instagram. If you haven't already to my Instagram, please make sure you guys follow me on Instagram. I know Keys isn't here, but he dropped a video earlier today. Make sure you follow him, check him out. It's always nice to see the community grow. Chat, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in for 2.5 hours. It's been nice. And yeah, we'll see you guys. I believe we're going to be back on for Spec and New Comic Book Day on Monday. With that said, happy shopping tomorrow. It is New Comic Book Day. I hope everybody gets what they're looking for. And yeah, happy collecting.
Don't forget, it's also Black Friday. So some of your LCSs or online shops might have deals. So if you're going to be budgeting, you might want to be on the lookout for those, because I know a few of my LCSs will be having discounts on their back issues. So keep that for sure.
That's right.
Yeah, save some money for them Black Friday sales.
Oh, and that reminds me, hey, for all the Americans, happy Thanksgiving. 2 days early, but happy Thanksgiving. And yeah, I'll see you guys next Monday for sure. Later, everybody.
Peace.
Peace.